I didn't even realize my camera was way down here. Well. Fucking up already. Jesus Christ. You know, one day I'll mount this camera. Right now it's just precariously perched on the top of the monitor. There's nowhere to mount it that's better. Yeah. Oh well. Everything is very precariously perched on this desk. Like, there's a stupid shelf in the way of the microphone arm, so I can't move it anywhere else. Hello, Pigeon! Pigeon! I want to know if she reacts to that at all. I'm gonna wait for Savannah before we do anything. I mean, I guess I can go to, like, the game screen. Could do that. Okay, I'm gonna turn the volume for the game back up a little bit. That's about where I had it. You let me know if the music is too loud, because it was a little loud in my ear, honestly. But I can adjust that myself. Oh, that's because Matt cranks the volume when he plays Fort, and he played Fort the other night after I got done. She just sighs loudly. Well, I'm glad she's still watching with me. Okay. Let me adjust this back to the old... I like it on full screen. I don't know why all of a sudden I can't hear the music. That's weird. I didn't turn it down that low. Oh, yes I did? Question mark? The dial on these headphones is so sensitive. It's so weird. I'm literally rolling it only when only in one direction, and it's going down and up and down and up, and now it's nothing, and now it's up to 10, and now it's and now it's down again. It's like, what the fuck? Headphones. Ho 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 ho. I'm glad you can hear everything. This bitch. I just want it to be up to, like... There, that'll be fine. Oh my god. Maybe that won't be fine, but... Oh. I mean, yeah, the dogs always lay with me too when I'm watching stuff. Are you laying in bed? Because then you're really gonna fall asleep. Okay. We'll go back to the old screen we were on here, but we're just gonna wait for Savannah. That'll be fine. Oh, okay. Oh, let's look at this. What's the new thing? One up with Isabella, up with Hannah, up with everybody. As far as I'm concerned. Oh, also the party was the 28th. And last time I kept thinking it was the 29th, but 29th was the day where Hannah went fucking cuckoo crazy, which was the day after the party. So the party was the 28th. I like that. I mean, I think it's kind of a stereotype, but like I like that all of this takes place around Halloween, and then if you look, it's Halloween. Last day is the day after Halloween, because this is the end. It's November 1st. That's the last day we play. Yeah, so that means the big event is going to take place on Halloween. And then the first will be probably like the aftermath. Savannah, we're waiting for you. Oh, thank you. I was just about to do that, actually. Thanks for sending that invite out. I think we just think similar thoughts at the same time, honestly. Oh, yeah. We're just gonna listen to the wind blowing and the rustling of leaves. Oh, Maggie, I think last time, were you there at the end when I like looked through like the branching tree? I thought you dipped out a little bit before I did that. You did dip out or you saw it? Why do I seem to remember that you left like right before I was trying to show Savannah? I don't know. I think we made a good choice picking to show the head. Yeah. Me too. What was the other option? Tell Ash? He wouldn't have fucking believed us. He'd have been like, well, hold on now, because I want to look at this branching tree and maybe see. Let's take a cheeky peek. Okay, you know what? I think this was a good option because this was the one. This was the question right here. Who do we tell? And this is the option we chose. Tell Hannah. And now look at all the stuff that stems from that. A lot. Because look, if we would have told Ash, he'd have been like, oh, fuck off, it's not real. And then eventually, we would have gotten some stuff with Zach, because up here it plateaus with Hannah's story. But look at all this crap in the meantime. Look at all, and then there's a bunch of shit with Ash, too, don't get me wrong. But then it meets back up. So, both stories plateau a little bit, but that's a long branching tree. Jesus. And like I was telling Savannah last time, like, the branching tree with Luke, it's either Luke or Ashton. It's huge. It's huge. Like, it just goes on. Like, this little red bar down here, when we make it to Luke, or I can't remember which one it is, but it's like a fraction of the bar of this, of Zach's branching tree. Because if we look back at Isabella, see how big this is her whole story arc. Just because we stopped, oh, that's her whole story arc. Maybe we don't go back and play as Isabella. That's it. Okay. And Hannah's is even bigger. So she's probably got the shortest story arc. Wow, look at all that crap we missed. All based off of... what? Were we even given an option there? I'll bet it stems from... who knows? Well, now we're playing Zach. But yeah, I think... because Marianne's got a lot of stuff coming up, but... a lot of her stuff is like backstory, like her past. But she does get into like present stuff as well. That's where shit takes a turn. Like, I don't even remember what happens at the end of Zach's story arc. I really don't remember. But I do remember that Marianne's is where stuff, like, flips on its head. More so than it did with the end of Hannah's. Hers, Marianne's, gets bad. Come on, Savannah. Me neither. No, I love Marianne. She's probably my favorite, like, character when it comes to her backstory and all the stuff. And, but Zach is the best character, like, in terms of, like, personality. He's just so likable and so sweet, but Marianne is actually, like, interesting. Come on, Savannah. We don't have all day. Okay. Welcome. All right. Let's get into it. Here we go. All right. In hindsight, this is a dumb idea. That is to say, rushing to a client I barely know's home first thing in the morning with news of a ghost lady potentially haunting their newly bought property. Yeah, I know what you mean. Hold on, I just want to make sure. I'm pretty sure. Okay, yeah, everything's... Why wouldn't it be? It's all the same as I left it. Okay. Oh, and there's a bunch of bizarre-looking pictures of Miss Hannah I've brought as proof, too. So, yeah, dumbest idea in the history of my dumb ideas, all things considered. Traveling to the outskirts of Anselm Village at the crack of dawn with only my bike as company, equally so. Again, I don't get why. Bella takes a cab out here all the time. Why wouldn't he? I mean, I guess to save money, but, dude, it's... I wouldn't want to be relying on a bicycle. Anyway, personally, I don't think any of them would take whatever I'm going to say well, no matter how nice or accommodating they are. Ashton himself would tell me the same thing. Odds are he'll laugh at it in my face for good measure if he doesn't freak out at me first for not listening to his warnings. Ooh, still, there's a whole separate can of worms I'll open at a different time, seeing as I'm already standing at the Wright's front door waiting for someone to answer the door. Front porch. Whoops. Whatever. More than anything, Miss Wright needs to know there's possibly nothing safe in this place. Warnings from friends being damned. Oh, by the way, Savannah, the party was the 28th. I kept thinking that was the 29th, but the 29th is when Hannah goes, like, cuckoo nuts. So what? Oh, we already established. It's the 27th. The dogs used to do that too, and we had a doorbell, and we haven't had a doorbell since we've moved here, so now they don't remember what a doorbell sounds like, which is really good because there's so many doorbells in shows. So this is before Hannah goes like cuckoo. So I was just thinking, oh no, what if Hannah's like nutso when Zach is at the door, but I don't think that'll be so. Anyway, more than anything, Miss Wright needs to know there's possibly nothing safe in this place. Warnings from friends be damned.
If only someone would answer the door sooner. Come on.
I have a bad feeling about who's going to answer the door. I try to ignore the looming presence their large, ornate door gives off as I press the doorbell for the 4th time. Its shrill ringing merely echoes, carried off by another warm passing breeze. The first time I came to this place, I found myself basking in the silence it offers. Now the atmosphere is just heavy, packed with trepidation and tension. Isabella's right, it does radiate the creepy kind of vibe. And with the image from the day before constantly flashing in my mind, the unease becomes harder to ignore as each second drifts by. Yeah, you're making Meg's dog anxious. Knock it off, Zach. Oh, what did we just say? Not wanting to spend more time here than necessary, I ring the bell again. Another long second ticks by without anyone answering the door. If this fails, I can always go to Ash. No, no. Not really the most sensible course of action either, but waiting here ain't doing me any good. Get ready, he's probably gonna ring it again. For all I know, the Wrights could be out of town. As luck would have it, just as I'm about to turn on my heel, a loud thump rises from the other side. It's followed by heavy footsteps and a string of very colorful expletives about one's parentage. I'm gonna guess who's gonna open this door.
Didn't we have that bloody annoying doorbell replaced yesterday? That Irish guy just cost me a fortune and she can't even fix this nuisance.
Oh God, here we go.
And where the hell is... Your eyes if another po-faced prat is pressing that blighted bell, I swear I'll cut their...
The door swings open and a very irate Mr. Wright greets me. His partly rumpled appearance a clear testament of how early the hour is.
And who might you be?
God.
I don't recall asking the movers to show up this early.
I was prepared to face Miss Wright, their butler more so. But Mr. Wright, I don't quite know what to make of him yet. I mean, you don't. He literally called you a racial slur. I think I would know what to make of him. He surely knows how to make an impression, I'll give him that. Albeit a rude one. I only caught sight of him yesterday as he's directing the movers. Although, from how exasperated he sounded then, it seemed like more yelling was done than actual giving of directions. Needless to say, I'd like to believe those instances ain't all there is to the guy. Miss Wright, at the end of the day, did marry him. I mean, I don't know how much that validates it, but standing before him like now, although, is a different story altogether. Despite the difference in our respective heights, he manages to make it appear like he is the one looking down on me, not the other way around. An apology instinctively forms in my mouth before anything else when he arches an eyebrow at my lack of response.
Well, that's not exactly why I'm here, Mr. Wright. Yeah?
Right, of course, the one and only. And what can I do for you this fine morning? Have I seen you somewhere before? Bloody you peasants all look the same to me.
Yeah, I'm actually...
It doesn't matter, I don't care. I've got someplace important to be at today. Just spit out what you want or be gone. I haven't got all day.
His eyes are sharp and expecting in spite of his indifferent tone. The very impression of someone whose sharp wits has served him well throughout life, the kind you have to carefully choose your words around. Disconcerting how a small conversation can easily seem like a ruthless form of social maneuvering. I can see why Miss Wright would want to steer clear of it, if only for a short while. Okay, and sometimes the only way out of the game is to be honest. I mean, I'm not. You choose. Yeah, and you know who needs to peg him? That fucking phantom lady. Get fucked with some ghost dick, Luke. I'd be pissed if he says you're friends with his wife, so second option. I mean, I don't disagree, but I also feel like we were... I do think the second one is the better option. But we were already here for that magazine, and I'm worried that he'll be like, you were already here. I mean, according to the branching tree, there is no wrong answer here. So I'm going to go with the second option. I would have gone with that anyway.
I'm in luxury living, sir.
He eyes the business card I hand him with a completely passive expression. He turns it between his fingers without really reading the letters printed before handing it back in the same blasé manner one usually reserves for people below their station. Or a nuisance. With him, it seems more of the latter than the former.
Mr. Steele.
Just Zach would do, sir.
I can see why. You should hear what they say about my name. Although I'm of the opinion those don't sound as unpleasant as yours to the ear. Amusing what people can come up with in their leisure time, no?
Yeah, I know. I know. I don't want to make Zach get... I feel like... I know that Luke is a prick. I know he's a prick, but I don't know. There's something about him I do kind of like. He's just like pompous, and that's him. That's just how he is. Is he a dickbag? Yeah, but I think he's funny. He's a good antagonist.
Well then, to what reason do we owe this second visit, Zach?
Right. Like I said earlier, I'm the photographer from Luxury Living. I'm here about the photo shoot yesterday, and...
Yeah, exactly. I hate to keep cutting him off. Exactly. I hate him because he's awful, but I like him because he's awful at the same time. Also, I always say or I don't always say, but I like to think, and people always say that, like, it's harder to get you to hate somebody truly as a character or, like, an actor, like, you know what I mean? Like, as an actor, it's harder for you to get hate somebody. Like, think about, like, Umbridge in the Harry Potter movies. Like, one time we were watching a movie that wasn't even Harry Potter, and the actress who plays Umbridge was in that movie, and Matt immediately just hated her because she was once Umbridge. Like, if you play a good enough bad guy, people will fucking hate any character you play forever because you were so convincingly a bad person. People must just believe that you're awful in real life. So it testifies against Luke's voice actor because it really, like, drives home that, ooh, he plays a good, hateable character. I don't know. I just like that. That's why I like a lot of villains. His eyes narrow at that, mouth tightening into a small frown, passive stance dissolving into a rigid one. It ain't a complete lie, what I came here for. But it ain't the whole truth either.
Didn't you already wrap that one up?
Yeah, see, I knew he was gonna say that shit. Like, you were already here.
Yes. Actually, sir, there was something I forgot to discuss with your...
And you had to show up at such an hour for something you forgot. Why wasn't there any notice about this little visit?
It was an error on my part, sir. I do apologize for not letting you know in advance.
Terribly unprofessional for someone going under the name of an esteemed publication like Luxury Living, if you ask me. Of course, even if there was a word of some sort, that butler does not check my emails as often as I would have liked. But straight up walking in here this early isn't the most sensible thing to do either.
The matter was a bit urgent, and my art director wanted it done as soon as possible before I hand him the finished prints.
Not my problem now, is it? A common courtesy would be to wait for replies before barging in. You do well to remember that. I once fired someone before they could even submit an application. Sent an email in the morning and suddenly sauntered in the office looking knackered mere hours after. Bloody walk-ins. That aside, unfortunately, you're going to have to come back some other day. You see, darling wife left not a moment to go.
Oh, I think she went... I'm trying to think, where did she go? She said that the day before the party, she went, like, to a thrift shop or, like, a antique store, and she bought, like, a crib and some stuff. I knew he was gonna do that. Zach would have said he was there to review the... God. I mean, Hannah isn't here anyway. So, it wouldn't have mattered either way. But I was just trying to think about where Hannah was, and that's where she was. As she said the day before the party, which it is, she went to, like, an antique store and bought, like, a crib for that second bedroom.
I have not an inkling where she went, or when she'll be back, so you're better off.
Love, is it the movie?
I was just about to say, watch her show up right now. Ooh! Nice. He stops speaking altogether, and the complacent expression he has collapses on itself. Slowly he turns just as his wife walks up to him with a step too lively for comfort and a smile too sweet to be honest. LOL. She's very likely heard everything her husband and I have talked about.
Going off somewhere.
How could he not? I mean, we are standing, like, on his front porch. How did he not see the car pull up, her walk up, I don't get it, but whatever.
I've got the few things I want them to transfer already. Marianne made this splendid arrangement for the music room and... Love, are you listening?
I thought you already left, Buttercup.
She musters a frown, pout more like. The mischievous gleam in her eyes when she glances at me says all there is I need to know. I would have laughed at her antics if it wouldn't offend the other man. But as it is, it's better to let his wife have her fun without any reaction from me. I'm treading on dangerous grounds with him already.
Well, I most certainly have not left yet. I wouldn't be standing here if I did, would I?
Oh, she came up from behind him. That's why. She came from inside the house. I thought she just got back from wherever she came from, but she hasn't even left yet. Okay. That makes more sense.
Of course you wouldn't be, darling. But don't you need to be somewhere else today? Something with Marianne.
I like the way you said that.
Shopping, girl things?
Just girly things.
Oh, I'll be leaving in a few. Unless you want to join us.
No thanks, darling. I'm afraid my liver, it's killing me today. Ooh.
Ooh. He's so like, I don't know. I love the way he says shit. I like Luke more and more every time.
I thought as much. You needn't have to worry. I'll be gone in a few. It's just that I heard we have a visitor.
Also, I like him more knowing that his wife's about to go fucking bonkers and possibly murder him.
What kind of person would I be if I didn't greet him before leaving?
Which, by the way, I don't know if that happens. So, I'm just making a joke.
A very gracious one, I'm sure.
Zachary, right? Zach? It's a pleasure to see you again.
Likewise, ma'am. I was actually looking for you.
Is that so? What for?
A huge display of unprofessionalism is what it's for.
Shush, darling. Let the man speak. I'm sure it isn't anything like that if he has to come all the way here, yes?
It's about yesterday. The photos you asked, I mean. The copies are ready, but...
My hand stills as I'm about to fish the prints out of my pocket. A short second passes that which strikes me how I didn't think this all the way through. How I'll go about telling her regarding the strange photos or revealing this to her in the presence of another person. Her husband gazing over us like a hawk doesn't provide any sort of comfort either. And just like that, all the words I have been practicing to say on the way here inevitably fall stiffly out of my mouth. Miss Wright must have noticed my hesitance because shortly she gives her husband's arm a gentle squeeze, a tender smile gracing her face. Unlike the first, this one is meant to appease.
Love, I think Hansi might need some of your input for the final guest list. Could you check on him, please?
But you love it when characters are like assholes. I mean, the way he was like talking to her when she was like, "Oh, but don't leave me," like whenever I played this the other day, and he was like, "I'll take a break if that's what you want." Like, there is some tenderness to him. Like, she is, for the most part, until she goes bananas, she is very sweet, but so she must have fallen for something in him that was sweet. But then again, I like Hans as well. Well, and let him degrade. Okay.
Bollocks! Why in all Luxborn do I have to be there? Doing tedious jobs of what he's being paid for?
Because if we end up with people whose faces you do not want to show up in our housewarming party, we won't be hearing the end of it. Unless a heavy dose of liquor's involved. You know what the doctor said about that. Please do poor Hansi and your liver a favor, hmm?
He can handle that on his own, Buttercup. And my liver is doing just fine.
I'm sure it is. But I don't know, love. I think I caught a glimpse of the name Mitch Lakes, was it? I think it was Mitch Lakes on it when I checked with Hansi earlier.
Also, he just was like, ooh, my liver's acting up. Ooh, and he made that, that stupid noise. So he's just like, oh, my liver's just fine. It's like, well, which is it, bitch?
You should see for yourself. It was quite a list.
Who put that blighted twat in there?
And that's why I'm asking you to look over it before I do so tonight.
Very well.
But even with that promise, he doesn't appear ready to leave. See, I don't know. He's an asshole, but he's just kind of like a... I don't know. There's just something that's like silly and likable about him. Okay, short of passing through their doors, he stops and glances back at me, all without bothering to hide the distrust in his eyes.
Luke, dear, I'll be fine. Go back to your butler. I'm not some pregnant wife you have to worry about.
Oh, shit. She doesn't even know about all that shit. Yeah, and that. Watch his face.
Fine, fine.
Oh,
I have
okay.
to go to that little ankle biter's career day later anyway.
Okay, he has a niece named but it's his niece. Her name is Kylie, and we do meet her eventually.
I don't see why I have to go there. Kylie's your goddaughter.
Never mind. It's hers. But Luke, if I remember right, Luke and Kylie are like very close actually. He's actually very sweet with Kylie, but we'll get there later.
And yet, she has you around her little fingers, darling. That's basically the same thing.
Oh god. If he ever has an answer to that, we don't get to hear it above the heavy thud the door makes and Miss Wright's own weary exhale after she's sure her husband is out of earshot. She's nothing but apologetic when she fixes her gaze back to me, and I can't help but return the same to her.
I am so sorry you had to deal with that. My husband can be a bit trying when he really applied himself.
It's fine, Miss Wright. No harm done. It was my fault for showing up here unannounced. And this might be strange coming from me, but he does have the right to be wary. The press can be quite vicious when it wants to be.
Caught unexpectedly, they'll pick you apart. It is not surprising why he acted the way he did around me.
Sweetie, if Luke treats every journalist who shows up here like that, I'm afraid we'll end up with a harassment lawsuit hanging over our heads sometime in the future. Vicious or not, some sort of finesse has to be exercised when dealing with them. I'm sorry, I hope that wasn't too offensive.
Not at all, Miss Wright. Besides, I don't think an interior design magazine would be interested in who harassed who this week. Unless it has something to do with fighting over tastefully arranged furniture. But even then, I don't think our readers will be too interested.
Oh, dearie. You've got a lot to learn. You really have no idea how a single tattle can ignite a spark in a crowd. Of course, at the end of the day, it's still the thought that counts. It's still a lovely anniversary gift from my husband. No matter. Let's just go.
She doesn't wait for an answer and immediately wanders over a car parked some distance from us. Unsure, I find myself trailing after her. A chauffeur automatically opens the passenger side door as she nears, and she gestures for me to follow when she climbs into the back seat.
To... where are we going exactly?
I need to get out of this stuffy house for a while. Moving in, planning the party. It's starting to get suffocating in there.
Also, it's something that happened last game that I don't think anybody caught, but I watched this shit back just in case I missed something. When Hannah was like begging Luke to stay in the morning before, like as she was going crazy, Luke said something that like none of us picked up on. Luke said like, besides, if I can't stay in this house all day or for this long, I'll go mad. Now you can't tell me that there isn't weight behind that line. Because Hannah does. Most of the time, she just stays at the house by herself. And, you know, there's, like, staff there, but she's also, like, her, like, mental health is becoming low, and she feels like her marriage is falling apart. And so her mental, you know, strength isn't there. Like, her mind is getting weak, and so she's susceptible to being possessed. And he literally said that. Like, if I can't stay up cooped up in this house, I'll get mad. Luke smashed, Zach smashed, Hannah smashed, Mariette smashed, Rose when she was alive smashed. I agree. Rose is so pretty. I really love her green hair. I don't particularly want to smash I mean, I know we all dislike Becca, but no. And even really Isabella. Like, she seems to, like, I know she's an adult. She's 26, but I don't know. There's something about Isabella that I'm not into. I need me a grown woman. Yeah, she was. But I liked her. I liked her long green hair.
Luke and Hansi can have their fun while I'm gone.
Oh,
I'm getting up because I can.
Luke and
Other than
Hansi.
to land, I'll drown.
They can have their fun. Wink, wink. She said it.
My bike.
There are, of course, a lot of things questionable about her invitation. Why she's asking a person she only has known for less than 2 days in the first place is one. How appropriate this is being another. She's rich. All this, she doesn't operate like a normal person. Rich people are fucking weird. They don't get casual etiquette. And the rest of it crashes the moment she shoots me an imploring look.
Please? I can have someone send it back to your address later. And it's just a trip to the city for some furniture. Nothing more, I assure you. Marianne will be with us, and maybe you can tell me why you're here on the way.
What was the who said shade? Me? I don't remember what I said. All I remember saying is I need a grown woman.
Guess it wouldn't hurt. Might have to leave early, though.
Excellent, then. Hop in. That's what they often say, yes?
See what I mean? Out of touch. She said hop in like she's never said that phrase one time in her life. This can't be a good idea, but really I don't have any other choice, do I? Well, it'll give you a good opportunity to show her the pics while you're riding in the car. Especially when the way her eyes light up when I agreed to it. Oh boy. In my pocket, the very picture of her remains faceless, a voiceless shadow hanging threateningly between us, unknown to her. If someone told me I'd be spending my entire morning being dragged around half of downtown Luxburn looking for furniture, I probably would have simply smiled at them, then perhaps even given them a good, friendly pat on the shoulder and wished them a nice day. Zach, you just can't help but just be a nice dude. Oh, Hannah threw shade. No, I don't ship Hannah and Zach. I think there is some deep-seated, like, issues with her. Isabella is a genuinely, like, very nice and sweet and considerate person. And Hannah she's very morally fucked up. Zach deserves somebody who is also equally kind. And I just don't think Hannah, it's all just like a facade for a lot of it. Then perhaps even give them, okay, I said that. Not that I find anything wrong with this at all. On the contrary, this is most definitely a nice change of pace after weeks of getting bogged down by several freelance gigs and shutting myself inside my apartment whenever I can. If only the weather would be a whole lot nicer, the kind with less sun and more clouds perhaps? With the mid-morning sun slowly beating down on us as high noon approaches, I can see why Mr. Wright skipped out on this trip. The bright side is, the whole thing seems to have put Miss Wright in a less somber mood. After the 5th store, her pace is considerably livelier. her gestures less guarded than the one she displayed at the mansion earlier. The presence of another person might have helped as well, although Miss McCullough seems less predisposed to small talk, preferring to keep to herself most of the time and let Miss Wright lead us wherever. She did acknowledge me with a small nod when we were introduced earlier, but that didn't make standing outside the store together any less awkward while we wait for our client to finish her inquiry inside.
So, interior design, huh?
She cast me a sidelong glance. Before what's the term? Bombastic side eye. She's the queen of it. She cast me a sidelong glance before returning to her notes again, her pen scratching faintly against the paper in quick successive strokes. Ah, there goes that. I did say I'm not any good at starting or keeping conversations going, didn't I? She doesn't look back up again, and I take that as my cue to stop any attempt of striking a dialogue with her, and I keep myself occupied with some other thing. Except what I have here is just Lugsburn and its busy streets, people going about their day like normal, cars moving in and out of sight, heading to who knows where. Nothing remarkable, really. The ease with which a person can fade into the background here is reflective of the kind of city Lugsburn will always be, but the humdrum's one thing I learned to live with. Needless to say, it doesn't usually stay that way. There are times when it would come alive, make itself known, and reassert itself back to the world. Criminal offensive side eye. However, those moments are few and far in between. Then again, with what graces the news channels lately, I'm starting to think it's going to happen sooner. Can't say I'm looking forward to what it'll bring.
Luxury living, is it?
Her voice effectively cuts through my thoughts just as I count the 13th passerby wearing a hat today. Beside me, I can hear the faint rustling of paper and the clicking of her pen as she stashes them back to her bag.
Excuse me, what?
The magazine you're working for. It's Luxury Living, isn't it?
Oh, yeah. You've been featured by them before, I take it?
God, she is so pretty. I love her.
A few years back, yes. For just some issues. My designs still appear from time to time, though not as frequent as before. Gotta have room for new talents, right?
It may not show in her face, but the pride is evident in her voice.
Good folks, the people running the publication. Tell me, is DK still on the editorial team?
Donkey Kong?
I wouldn't know. I've only started taking jobs from them this year. Freelancer, you know.
DK. Donkey Kong.
Good man, that guy. Anyone in our field should meet him. He had a lot of things to say about art, all of them relevant. Learned a lot from him, actually, even if we both came from two different fields. I hope he's in a good place. I haven't talked to him in a while.
Her breath, her voice right now is so like breathy and sultry. My God. Yes, exactly. The eyes and hair and accent is literally why I love her. She's so fucking pretty. And her voice right now, it's a little sultry. Anyway,
your portfolio must have been good if they gave you the job. They don't easily assign big features to freelancers like this.
I wouldn't say I am, but experienced, you know? The more you practice it, the more you learn the tricks of the trade. That kind of stuff.
I know what you mean. Still, you've got to keep up with the competition. Each year, a new talent emerges, and, well, you never know. Clients can be a bit fickle-minded with their choices. Believe me. Speaking of, do you think you'd be up for a new client after this?
I think so. Depends on how big the project is.
she reaches into her bag again. This time to pull out a small business card which she hands over to me.
When you're free, send your portfolio to Chris. He's my assistant. He's been looking for a decent photographer to help with updating the studio's portfolio. Nothing urgent, but the student.
Not sure if I'll
sooner
have
the
the time
better.
to squeeze this in. But, alright, I'll give it a go once.
Marianne, could you look this over for me?
At that very moment, Miss Wright emerges from the store. When I look back to Miss McCullough, a mask of professionalism has returned to her. Or at least that is what it is trying to be. There's a different light in her eyes as she faces her, a flicker of familiarity and recognition. I'd say it's fondness, but that would be presumptuous. Whatever it is doesn't last, and is briskly swept under the firm tone of her voice assumes.
Definitely. Is there a problem?
They said they don't have the colors you suggested. Do you think we can change it around for a bit? It might take a while if we insist what we want, and you know I'd rather not worry about this later.
I think it'd be better if I handle this one myself. Excuse me.
Mommy, take the reins. Take charge. She walks into the shop without another word, leaving the two of us standing outside. As soon as she's out of earshot, however, Miss Wright lets out a giggle and swipes the business card cleanly off my hand. She smiles at a bemused little thing spreading across her face and waves the card in front of me. I wish she'll do that more often, the smiling thing. I don't know. But based off of everything that's fucking happened and the shit she said about, like, Johans earlier, I don't know. Her shit she just seems so conniving. I'll say it. Hannah kind of pisses me off. And it suits her more than the other one she frequently shows to the media, and it bugs me that, like, Zach is a nice guy and he sees the good in everybody, but, like, now Hannah is just not to be trusted. And Zach, don't be put off by her charm and her big titties. It's not worth it.
I look away, and the next thing I know, you're picking up women. On the streets, while the sun is high, no less. I'm not sure if I should be appalled or amazed. Whatever happened to the Zach I met a day ago? About as tall as you. Photographer. Quite the gentleman.
I don't think she's a demon yet. I think it's slowly making its way into her, but, like, I think when the pregnancy thing happens at the party, I think her brain just snaps and, like, something takes hold of her in that moment, because I think she's okay at the moment, but, like, I just think deep down she's, I don't know. I'm just talking out of my ass.
To tell you the truth, I'm a bit disappointed he's gone.
It ain't like that, Miss Wright.
Well, the morning of the party, which is the 28th, because today's the 27th, is when she's talking to Marianne, and then also talks to Rose at the party, and, like, she's like, oh, they both gave me advice about my relationship in some way, shape, or form. And so it literally is up until the pregnancy scare that she's, like, considering her weird feelings about Luke. Oh, yeah, and then he comes in and she's, like, wooed by him. So it was somewhere there. Her brain just snapped. Anyway, let's keep going.
And I'm sure Miss McCullough is not the kind of woman to let herself be picked up by strangers, let alone people she barely knows.
Oh, shush. Let me have my fun. And didn't I say you can call me Hannah?
She gives the card back to me, nevertheless, and with it, her mood fades into a more pensive one. An odd look settles on her face, yearning, a bit wistful, as she looks back towards the shop's display window. There's nothing remotely interesting in it for me when I follow her line of sight, though. A few trinkets here and there, a fur rug, a sofa, a wooden side table, and a lamp, all tastefully picked and arranged to resemble a typical antique living room. On second thought, it does look comfortable. But why they added a crib beside it baffles me. Unless, of course, the people they're hoping to market to are those who already have children, or about to have one, then maybe it is fitting. I mean, I did say she has big titties. So I'm not disagreeing with you, I'm just saying. Something's not right up here. Peculiar choice of decorations aside, it does make for a nice icebreaker, if it's not on the same level of weird and completely out of the blue. It's still leagues better than the awkward silence, which is definitely too out of character for a personality like Miss Wright Hannah's. Okay, how should I start the conversation? Well, I mean, it doesn't really matter. I was gonna say, we know she buys that crib. She says she does, so. Yeah, you're not sticking it in crazy. You're just... you're just rubbing it against crazy. Oh, man. You want me to say the second thing? Okay.
Ooh, I think that one looks cute.
Oh, Zach, that sounds so nice coming from you. Hannah balks, to my surprise, shuffling 2 steps away from the window and glares at it with such vehemence as if it did something remotely scandalous. Did that make our relationship... Okay, it made it go up. Weird. She looks... I mean, maybe she's just flustered, but she looks pissed about it. A funny sight when taken out of context, and I probably will be laughing, really, if I understand what warranted such reaction from her.
I wasn't looking at the crib.
I wasn't really talking about the crib, Hannah.
Very good then. But it wasn't the crib, all right.
Alright, I get you. But that's not it. Honest.
What would Zach care if she was looking at the crib? Like, maybe she wants to have a baby. Like, why is that embarrassing to admit? Especially to somebody who really doesn't have much, like, weight in your relationship with your husband. Like, other than the fact that Zach knows he's a prick.
I was just saying the stuff that was on display there looks nice. Or at least as nice that it can be compared to the ones we visited earlier. But I'm sure your interior designer has something different in mind for your mansion, so don't mind me.
I was hoping that would be enough to cut the topic short. Instead, she sighs, leans on the wall closest to her, and runs her hands through a lock of her hair. There is a far-flung look in her eyes, even as she fixes it on the concrete curb.
You need to stop looking at people like that, sweetie.
Oh boy.
I'm afraid I don't quite catch your drift, ma'am.
I suppose you wouldn't be aware of it. Do you know you always carry this kind of phase? Like you're always staring at the world with this honest look. Like all there is to see is all the good in it.
He's dealt with so much bad. It's a miracle he can look that way at the world, honestly.
Frankly, I don't see anything wrong if it's like that. I mean, there always has to be something in it. You know, a sprinkle of kindness here and there.
Oh my god. Cool off. You took a nice long hot shower, now it's time for a cold one.
Otherwise, we'd all be miserable.
For you, maybe. Some people have to fight through it just to see that. And kindness isn't always a great thing to have around. Sometimes too much of it can hurt.
Oh. It makes you wonder where this is coming from, how bad things have really gone for her to have this view. I do understand her sentiment, really I do. You don't have to I'm just being funny. Do you not hear all the shit I was saying about Marianne not 5 minutes ago? Still, when it's the last thing you can cling to when things have gone irreversibly bad, sometimes you simply don't get to make a choice. What were we talking about? Trauma responses.
Besides, the point is, it's impossible to lie when a person is looking at you like that. Or I could, but I'd feel like a horrible person afterwards. Did you hear that, Mr. Zach? You just made me feel like a horrible person.
Do not guilt trip this kind, gentle giant.
I sort of wish I had one like it. Just so people would stop lying to my face.
Or you can start by being honest with yourself. It shouldn't be quite hard. Friends don't lie to each other, don't they?
I guess so.
So what was the lie?
I feel like I'm missing something. What? She's upset because what? He knows how to put on like a poker face? Or like, not a poker face, but I just feel like, I'm just like, what are we even talking about? He, like, knows how to, like, I don't know, what, I just feel like I'm getting lost in the dialogue. Yeah, I'm a little confused. He was like, oh, that's a cute crib, and then she's like, I was looking at the crib, which she very obviously was, and so now she probably just feels bad because her husband, I don't know, I'm just making assumptions. But like, talking about friends lying to each other, what does that have anything to do with anything? I don't think she's being a bitch, I just think she's lost in her feels. She wants to have a baby, but this is the point in time where she was like questioning her relationship with Luke and if it's even a good match, and he seems like he doesn't care about her and therefore probably wouldn't care about a baby, and he's fought with her about making that room even into like a nursery / child's room. So she's having like conflicted emotions, and she's just mainly like poking fun at Zach, but I guess I just don't understand like what those last few sentences were about. Like, who's lying up to a friend? Huh? I don't know. This is confusing. Let's keep going. She draws in a breath, lays a soothing hand to her stomach, and...
That it was really the crib I was looking at earlier,
Oh,
silly.
that's the lie. I see.
You're right, Uncle Zach. It's cute, but
Oh.
it's not to my taste. I'm pretty sure Marianne could do something about that, though.
Uncle Zach. I think it's a little weird, but also very sweet.
At the moment, what I should really be worried about is if I'm ever going to be a good mother to this child.
This child? Is this just like a hypothetical this child, or is there actually an existing child?
Ned, I can't
don't
even tell
know.
the father he's going to be one in a few months' time.
She is pregnant? She's been pregnant this whole time? A few months. So what? Is she like 2 months, 3 months in already? A few months is like, when I think a few, I think like 4. Oh my god. No kidding. Okay, so when I watched somebody play this game, I think they chose to tell Ash, so this is all uncharted waters for me. I've never seen this shit, so that just blew my fucking mind. Yes, it does make party night so much worse. This is truly shocking information. Oh my god.
Probably doesn't even want anything to do with this whole pregnancy thing.
Does he know? There's no way he knows. Wait, didn't she just say he doesn't know? Oh, I feel sick. Did she just say he doesn't? Yeah, he doesn't know he's about to be a father in a few months. So he doesn't even know. And she knows that he doesn't want to have a baby because she wants to make that into a nursery, wink wink, and he does not want that. So that just proves that he doesn't. Oh my god. Oh my god. This has gotten so thick with drama, even more so in just this little bit alone. Oh my god.
What am I going to do, Zach? Because right now, I'm absolutely at a loss.
Dude, no wonder her mind snaps. She's probably feeling so awful right now, so low, and then the shit comes out that he cheated on her, and she just like refuses to believe it. Like, it literally snaps her brain in half. She's so bad. It just, oh my god, I can't even get past this. And do you remember when she was talking to that police officer, like, Lee or whatever his last name is? And he was like, oh, are you even trying to have a baby right now? And she didn't answer. And then he was like, yeah, probably for the best, because when that baby bump gets big, he's not even gonna think of you the same way, or he's gonna think it's like, oh my, she's already pregnant, y'all. She was pregnant when he said that to her. Yes. Oh my god. Like, think of how much more that drove her mental health down. Like, I feel bad for Hannah because she's so susceptible to all this shit that's about to happen, but like, this is truly awful. Like, oh my god. Oh.
Oh.
Also, absolutely at a loss. I thought it was absolutely at a loss. Whatever. I'm just nitpicking about that. A beat.
Oh.
Okay, Zach. The realization strikes me like a ton of bricks suddenly bearing down on me. More than astonishment must have shown in my face because Hannah lets out a chuckle. The slump on her shoulders disappears altogether underneath her mirth.
Don't look so surprised, dearie. Tied the knot 7 years ago, remember? Don't you think it's bound to happen?
I mean, if Twilight has anything to say about it, Edward was already a vampire when they conceived their child. So the child was already half vampire, half human. So she was not possessed when they moved into this, or when they conceived this child. How far along is she? Let's just, for sake of it, say she's like 2, maybe 3 months along. So she was pregnant well before they moved into this house. And so, if Twilight logic has anything to play into it, no, I think the baby will be born normal, but if she's gonna be possessed, I don't know if that baby's gonna make it. It's just sad, but I don't know. This just throws a whole fucking enormous wrench into this thing. I didn't even know about this. Oh, I don't even know how to think right now. She brandishes her hand in front of me, the unassuming silver band on her finger glinting against the late morning sunlight for a second. You know, that's honestly a very, like, modest ring for somebody who has all that money. Like, those are tiny little diamonds, and there really aren't even that many of them. It's a pretty, like, inexpensive looking ring for the money that they have. Yeah, the baby wouldn't just all of a sudden become a demon. She would. Or at least possessed by one. She eyes it lovingly, almost tenderly, despite the trace of sadness in her voice. For all I know, there is an entire story there. I'd ask, but that would be too inappropriate even for friends. It's not my place to meddle to begin with.
Or at least that's what they've been saying early on. My whole social circle would be saying it's a long time coming.
But the kid is something you want, right? Because if it ain't, then that's a whole other problem.
Of course. I wouldn't deny I've been hoping to have him or her for a long time now. But then, now that we're here, all of a sudden, there are a whole lot of other things to be worried about. Business, a new home, public image, my own husband, and I don't know. I didn't really have anyone for a role model. I practically grew up with nursemaids pampering me every step of the way. What if it happens to this baby as well?
I mean, neither have I, to be fair.
Oh, I can already see how this will end.
Huh. I guess it's not just my sister.
What?
What?
That is not the first time. That is not the first time that's happened where I've said something and then Hannah says the exact same thing, almost exactly the same tone right after I say it. That's not the first time. Oh my god.
You and my sister. I mean, you're both having jitters or something like that. That's what it's called, right? First baby jitters? Mind you, she was really convinced she'd do everything wrong then. He even called me in the middle of the night. Asked to switch places the day she found out she's carrying a new member of the family. Never mind how utterly impossible her request is.
I wonder where his sister lives. They moved to England when they were children to stay with their grandparents, but I wonder if she's still here.
I'm quite sure I haven't done anything of that sort yet.
Oh, you don't know that? My brother-in-law has been telling me things 5 weeks into my sister's pregnancy. Since she's one cranky pregnant lady. Man, good thing I found a place for myself years before that bundle of joy arrived, huh?
Oh, so she's already had the baby.
It can't be that awful.
Who knows? I think we'd better leave it for Mr. Right to decide, yeah?
Provided he comes around. He just sounds so repulsed every time the idea is brought up.
Then maybe you should say it to his face. No mincing of words or beating around the bushes.
What have I been saying? What have I been saying? Zach, you continue to be a mature, level-headed, just be direct kind of man. Literally, I kept saying, all these motherfuckers do, and by motherfuckers I mean Becca and Ash, and a little bit of Bella too, all they fucking do is beat around the goddamn bush. Zach, similar wavelengths. Bless your heart.
And if he says no?
You haven't even told him yet. Besides, that's his kid. Don't people usually say fatherhood changes men? I wouldn't call myself a living testament, of course, but there ought to be something that will hit him in that idea alone.
A wrecking ball would be nice.
Laughter escapes me before I can stop it, and for a moment I thought I have done something wrong when she doesn't join in. He's still her husband, no matter what jests or complaints she hurls about him behind the media's eyes or in the presence of people she trusts. But when she does her chuckle, a small hesitant sound at first, I find the rest of my unease slipping away.
Well, whatever it is, my point is, you've got no idea what will happen. In the same way, you don't know if you'll be a good mom. Trust me, my sister's been there. It's perfectly normal.
If you're worried about being a good mom, you will probably be a good mom. If you're concerned, that means you're already thinking that you're going to try to do the best that you can. And that's all you can do. And so if you're worried about it, you're going to be.
If my opinion matters, though?
A long second of indecision goes by. I can feel her eyes, filled with nothing but curiosity, boring into me while she waits for the rest. It's just a simple sentiment, but one thing I think she needs to hear for all the doubts she unwittingly places on herself. I'm just not sure if it should come from me, but I'll be damned.
I think you'll be a great mother, Hannah.
Zach, you're so fucking sweet. It kills me. If she has an answer to that, I don't get to hear it, nor does she get to say it. As soon as it's out of my mouth, the bell hanging over the antique store's door chimes, and out comes Miss McCullough. For more than one reason, I have never been so relieved our talk got interrupted.
Everything's been taken care of for tomorrow, Mrs. Wright. You'll have everything you requested delivered early. I've left them instructions, but I may have to visit again right before your housewarming party to check for a few things. I hope that's acceptable to you?
More than Marianne. This is a little early to say, but you did marvelous work with the mansion. I can't wait to see all of it come together tomorrow.
I'm only doing my job, ma'am. Needless to say, it's always a pleasure to hear a client is satisfied with my work.
Nonsense! You have every reason to be proud. I know you've already established your name here, but I'll still make sure word gets out, of course. I think I've got a few friends who might be interested in decorating their homes. I'll see if I can introduce you to them tomorrow.
I know I'm really itching to look at that branching tree again, but I'm gonna wait a little bit. I'm just kind of curious to how far along we've gone in this Hannah storyline.
I really don't want to impose, Mrs. Wright. There's still a lot to be done, and I'd rather be keeping an eye on it myself.
You know well enough I'll still do it. You too, Monsieur le Photographe. You better be the one taking the pictures for the event tomorrow, or I'll be very upset.
Oh, well, that explains why Zach was at the party, is he's taking pictures. Okay, so we have an explanation for Rose. We have an explanation for Zach. What about Ash? I blink at her, confused. Lastly, I checked. I have nothing scheduled on my plate tomorrow. A couple of fleeting thoughts did cross my mind, like working on personal projects. But with the expectant expression on Hannah's face alone, I've wondered before how they got Isabella to sell them the mansion with all the paperwork and the loops it has to go through. Well, now the how is already standing in front of me, and it's one giant ball of persuasion in human form. If I have any doubts how she got around life, all of them have been dispelled right this instant. Hannah hasn't said anything yet, but I already know what my answer will be.
What event?
Our housewarming party, dearie. I've already sent invites through your publisher. They should have informed you of it by now.
I may have probably missed it. I haven't gotten the chance to check my mailbox yet. Deadlines, real-life happenings, you know, they can be pretty hectic. I'll try later, but they might have already assigned it to a different photographer if they haven't received my reply yet.
That's not a problem. Nothing a little call from me can't fix. I'll have them know I'm specifically requesting for your presence. It shouldn't be too hard. Just promise me you'll show up. I expect to see you both there. No excuses.
Good company, good music, good food. Of course I'll be there.
Lovely. I hope we have that settled then. I'd love to stay and chat, but unfortunately I have an appointment scheduled with the doctors after this. You two will have to excuse me.
Are you feeling fine, ma'am?
It's nothing big.
There's a short while in her... Wait, there is a short while in which her hand faintly touches her stomach when she says this. Ooh, that's a dead giveaway. Her smile as she does so, a tender thing in itself. She might never let it cross her mind, but motherhood would suit her. The kid is already loved, even if he or she has yet to have a sense of the world. Candid moments like this, I wish I had brought a camera for.
Sorry we had to cut this short. I'd love to have lunch with you two, but, well, you two know how it goes.
It's quite fine, Mrs. Wright. I need to get going as well.
Is it somewhere far from here? I can have my driver drop you off on the way.
No, please. There's no need for that, Mrs. Wright. It's just within the city.
I see. What about you, Zach? We did leave your push bike at the mansion. Don't worry, I'll have someone bring it to your home later.
Nah, I live within the city too. A few blocks from here, in fact. I only visited earlier because...
The photos. Oh my god, he still hasn't showed her the pictures. Damn, I've completely forgotten about them. My hand grazes the side of my pocket where I've kept them since this morning. And sure enough, they're still there, waiting for the whole world to see them.
Because? Zach, sweetie, you're zoning out.
Miss Hannah, earlier, at the mansion.
Okay. Should I still show her the photos? Oh man, this is like a big... It's your call. It's your call. But after we make this decision, I'm looking at the branching tree because I'm very curious where this will lead us. Shower! Okay, I'll show her.
I think it will be better if you take a look at these yourself.
Okay, Oh, we went down with Hannah. Uh-oh. Okay, well, I'm looking at the branching tree now because I need to know. We're only 8% into Zach's... What does that mean, though? Because we only made it... Oh, of all the possible choices. Okay, I see. Okay, this was show Hannah, or tell Hannah, the original one. And this is all the stuff we've gone through since that happened. And now we're here, where we show her pictures. Okay. Okay, we're very close to coming to, like, a plateau in her story. So probably when we get back to the mansion. God, there's so much. So, these percentages are, like, in Isabella's, all of these whites is attributing to the non-complete. We don't have the full everything, so I can't believe how far we are into Zach's, though. We're really not. And we're only 8% in. There's so much to his. Like, look at all this shit that we didn't do. Oh my god. That branching tree is the most, like, baffling thing to me of how much game there actually is in this game. And to get through the game, I haven't even looked it up yet, but I want to say it's like a 30+ hour game to get through this whole thing. It feels even longer than that. It's just crazy to me how much game there is and how much you can miss. Anyway, seeing is believing, right? I reach into my pocket and pull out the photos, handing everything to her. Recognition flickers across her eyes when she reaches for them, and I have to stamp down the tiny twinge of regret in my stomach for having the gall to show it to her. Only it cuts deeper the instant both her and Miss McCullough's expression changes. And it's not a good look. To say she's repulsed would be a total understatement. All this time, Hannah has been nothing but direct, saying what she feels, expressing what she wants. Away from the glamour and the camera lenses, she's a whole different person. But as she goes through each of the pictures, I can get an easy read on her. I can't get an easy read on her.
Zach, dearie, what is this?
Your photos. The ones you requested copies of. I mean, they came out that way, and I thought you should know.
Oh, I get it. You know, I've heard before that artists can be a bit weird. Have you ever gotten that kind of comment, Marianne?
Not in my line of work, I'm afraid. Or ever, Mrs. Wright. I'd rather keep my personal hobbies away from my actual work. Less stress that way.
Well, I suppose it just never crossed my mind that the saying applies to you as well, Zach. But talent's what's important, hmm? As long as you make good art, it doesn't matter.
Oh, no, you see, when we had that photo shoot yesterday, there was something.
I wouldn't say I don't appreciate it. I did ask for copies, darling. But would it be possible for you to give me normal-looking ones? Preferably with my head intact.
Oh boy.
I admire the effort you took to edit this, though. It looks authentic. Frankly, if I show this to some other person, they'd probably believe those silly rumors about the mansion. Good publicity, but not the kind I'd want for my new home. So please.
She drops them back in my hands like their very surface burned hers.
If you could redo this, that would be wonderful. I'm positive you can do a better job than the one you just showed. Just try to keep the edits to a minimum,
Yeah, I can, sure.
You can take your time, of course. And speaking of time, I really must go.
Oh man, oh boy. Whatever way the story goes, but I don't know oh god, that was rough. She leaves without so much as a wave. Oh, she's so unhappy. Oh no. I don't have to take a guess to know I've just made her, or in her own words, weirded her out. Beside me, Miss McCullough shakes her head. What are the odds I've also ruined my chances with the job she offered earlier? Very high, I'd say. It's a foolish idea in the first place. Miss McCullough departs shortly after Miss Wright has taken her leave, muttering something about getting a quick lunch before fetching Baruthiel from Chris. Yeah, that was rough. I don't know what or who a Baruthiel is. It must be important for her to be in this kind of hurry. And well, she doesn't seem to be fond of small talks, something we can both agree on. Lunch sounds good, or a walk around the city maybe, but with the sun as high as it is now, nah. And after how things with Miss Hana went, I simply can't muster the appetite for anything at the moment. If I don't do anything with it now, I have this impression it will rear its ugly head again, and by then, things might be too late to fix. What other choice do I have? Ash? Rebecca? In all likelihood, all they'll give me is a pat on the back and a Z-Man, go get some sleep, you're at it again, from Ash. I talked to Isabella, but I haven't seen her around since she showed up at my apartment 2 days ago. Weird. There is one person, though.
Damn, I should have thought of that first.
It's the cathedral from the menu screen. Oh boy. Okay. As it turns out, I do have another option. You're gonna go get lunch with the priest? Is that what you're getting at? I'm not a religious person. I won't identify myself as such. Or rather, I can't. Sure, my grandparents didn't have to force me to go weekly. I'd happily join them. In fact, most of my childhood Sundays have been spent attending service. It's simply that, as you get older, the more experiences you get, forming your own beliefs on things becomes easier, for the lack of a better word. Man, Zach, I can relate to you so hard right now. And at one point, it just stopped, that kind of thing. Nevertheless, I hold no disdain for it. I mean, we don't relate in that regard. Sometimes it does help. But when things are really, really bad, when the dreams won't stay where they should be, talking does a bit. It's also a good thing Father Norman's, well, he's not completely the pious man you'd typically expect. My unlikely friendship only probably happened because he's the kind of guy who's cool with the young ones, as he so aptly puts. And he is, surprisingly, it makes him easy to approach. Like that one time with Isabella. I don't think he believes in the ghost kind, but there he went. Maybe he has something to say about the photos as well. It won't hurt since I've already gone ahead and went to Anselm at daybreak on my bike. At the very least, I know I won't get shouted at by whoever answers the door.
Unless someone does that inside a church. I highly doubt it.
Despite its age, the Luxburn Church is a thing of wonder in itself, with its high vaulted ceilings and intricate stained glass windows. One of the many gifts the Ermengarde family donated to the community is it in its early days. Oh, great, so they had their hands laced in this place too? Oh my god, that doesn't smell like good juju to me. This reminds me, the company that made this game also made another game, and it's based in like a nunnery. And that game would be, I don't know much about that game at all. I watched somebody play like the first hour of it. So that would be a fun sequel to this, but let's get through this first. Or so I heard from Rebecca. She mentioned this once, although most of it flew over my head then. And at this time of the day, the church is mostly empty, save for a few visitors and ushers shuffling about, some muttering their prayers under their breath. The scene of burning candles and incense permeate the air, giving the place a general feeling of reverence. Pretty welcoming, all in all. Even so, I keep the noise my treads make to a medium. Disturbing the quiet feels like a sin alone. An usher points me to a pew in front of the altar when asked where Father Norman prays. He mentions something about the good priest not being in good health, ever since he did a favor for a friend to bless an old house. This is the first time in days he's left his room. Oh, God. No surprise there. With the weird heat lately, even Rebecca's caught something. Nervous little chap, the kid. Nevertheless, he leads me close to the foot of the dais. I don't know what that dais. With a reminder not to stay too long before walking off. Oh no, the priest was possessed, y'all. I mean, or something. He's taken ill. Seconds later, Father shifts and stands. He doesn't seem to have noticed me, and I have to give him a little tap on the shoulder. When he looks, though, to say he's surprised is an understatement.
Stay away.
Oh my god! This is all Uncharted. I have never seen any of this shit. Oh my god, I don't like that. I don't like that. I don't like that. His voice comes out, a whisper, almost inaudible in the hush, a quiet restrained indifference to where we both are standing. But the tremor is there. He focuses on me with wide, bulging eyes, copious amounts of sweat appearing on his forehead, despite the relative coolness of the place.
Father Norman?
Keep your distance.
Hey, it's me, Zach, remember?
Stay away. Don't come near me.
Oh my god. It must be the fever talking, or whatever he caught. It has to be. I don't recall ever doing anything for him to drive me away like this. In all the years I've known him, he's been nothing but polite, nothing but accepting of people regardless of beliefs or status in life. For words akin to a threat to come out of him, it's simply beyond unimaginable.
Go back to where you came from. Leave.
No, you can't say this to Zach. He already has trauma with, like, he's gonna assume it's like a racist comment.
Father, what did I do?
Leave now.
Oh. I extend a hand to his shoulder, meant to be reassuring, and he recoils, his ankle catching on the edge of the dais. Again, I don't know. As he backs away, his shout when I attempt to reach out again echoes through the entire hall, catching the attention of a few people inside. I try to keep a level tone, but with these strangers' eyes trained on us, panic starts to weave its way into me.
Stay away, demon. Go back to the hell you came from.
No!
Father, it's okay. I only came here for some pictures I thought looked odd. I figured you might know something.
From my pocket, I fish out the photos and try to hand it to him. No, Zach, no! No, don't do that! Instead, he strikes my wrist away, almost like an accusation, and sends the photographs fluttering uselessly to the floor. Helpless, I can only watch as he curls into himself on the ground, a sad, blubbering mess whimpering to himself. He tips his head forward and begins rocking. Oh, he's so deep into it, y'all. His hands clapped over his ears.
That accursed spirit, so full of anger and pain. All those horrible things I've seen. I can't sleep. Can't eat everywhere I look. Go away. Go away. Go away. You're not supposed to be here. This is a house of God. Be gone, demon. Lord have mercy, God our Lord, King of ages, all-powerful and almighty. You who made everything and transform everything simply by your will.
I am fucking, like, speechless right now. I have full body shivers. Oh. A number of people have moved closer, mostly just to gawk. I have to take a second. Oh my god. Savannah, where are you? Oh, give a sign that you're still here. That's so, oh my god, I'm so, like, shaken by that. That was fucking great. I feel so many different, like, things. For the priest, I feel so horrible because he, oh my god, but for Zach, the priest called him those things. He did nothing wrong. He's gonna think it's something like, I think she's talking about, I'd assume so, or like something with the kids, but like, what a bad time to be missing. Oh my god, I could like actually cry right now. That was so, that just bothered me so much. I'm so, like, shaken by that. Holy shit. Oh, Savannah, you missed all that. That was so, just like, truly awful to witness. Yeah. Oh my god. That was probably the worst time for you to walk away. Oh my god. Okay, I guess I'll go keep going now. Fuck. Oh my god. I did nothing but sit here and I feel like I have to catch my breath. Thankfully, as if to save him from being an utter spectacle, 2 ushers come out, taking him away. One of them, the kid from earlier, shoots me an apologetic look. I can't even return it to him. Anxiety's a powerful thing, a firm little notion that clings, eats and consumes you. I can still hear his prayer even as they drag him away.
May he keep at bay and vanquish every evil power, every poison or malice invoked against us by corrupt and envious people.
Oh.
Then under the protection of your authority may we sing in gratitude.
It rings, hums in me as I am left to pick up the pieces of this chaos. Back to square one we go. Oh my god, Zach, you are having an awful day. If there is salvation in this, I hope we find it soon. Oh my good god. Yeah. This is so gnarly. Oh. The moon is well into the night sky by the time I make it back home. Maggie, don't fall asleep yet. There's something I know that happens with Zach at night in his apartment, and I'm not saying anything about what it is, but I just don't want you to miss it. My heavy treads and the sound of traffic outside echoing in my ears, filling the empty room with some semblance of life. Nana would scold me if she ever hears me walk like that, but after today, I really can't give a damn about everything. The mattress creaks under my weight as I unceremoniously flop down on it, and I find myself looking at the paper under my grip. Oh, as promised, Miss Wright had my bike delivered back to my apartment. Found it parked in the rack downstairs with an invitation and a note tacked to it, in fact. Be there, it said. If only it were that easy, but it'll give me a chance to talk to her about that thing in their house. With a sigh, I let my hand fall to the side of the bed along with the invitation. I'll think about it tomorrow when my head ain't muddled with thoughts of a headless woman and the haunting smiles of a ghost. Belatedly, it occurs to me I haven't eaten anything since I left this morning, and an empty, gnawing ache makes itself known, but I can't bring myself to stand up. Today was a complete waste of time and frankly a disappointment. I don't like this. The lack of uncertainty, the disquiet, the lack of stable ground to stand on, the part where I do not know what will come tomorrow. You're too awake now. Yeah. Fucking husbands always taking us away from our stories. Ever since that damn letter, everything has been thrown out of the loop. Well, now you can see why Isabella was so distraught. I wish everything stayed the same. Routine would have been easier to make sense of than this. Closing my eyes, I let the noise from the streets below lull me to sleep. At the very least, that's the one thing that hasn't changed. Oh, come on! The melody carries into the hall long before I cross the threshold. Solemn but gentle and soothing, a reminder of what home is. Pa's firm but meaningful gaze, Ma's wistful smiles, the warm rays filtering through the eaves at sunset, the distinct smell of wet earth and leaves after a long day's rain, in our room. The room. Ma and Pa's pride and joy, a place where we once promised several springs ago. Yet it won't stop.
No, wait! Come back! I'll be good this time! Please don't leave! Please stay!
The floorboards are cold under my feet more than it usually is, the walls more forbidding than what I'm used to. Farther and farther the room goes. Ma's singing ceases and Pa. I can't hear Pa. Not above the raucous clanging and the deafening roar of gunshots, nor the screams replacing the comforting soft melodies. There is only the blinding fear. But when the light breaks, her skin has already taken a sickly pale color, rotten in most places, blood dripping from every open gash and lesion on her body. Bony hands grip Hannah's neck like a noose, staining the skin underneath with a vibrant shade of crimson, of scarlet, rather, same color. Nothing but malice fills the gleam in her eyes. Oh, shit! A scream ripple. Do y'all hear that, like, ticking noise? Or it's almost like a clicking noise. A scream ripples through the air. I knew it. My whole body feels distant. Every limb heavy with lead, all unable to move at will. Not even so I can wipe the beads of sweat forming at my temple. Yeah, you're right. A dripping. You're right. The rasping of my breath easily fills the room in the wee hours while I force it back into a steady rhythm. There is a tightness in my chest I can't shake off, my heart pounding against it as if it's about to burst out. Something cold has settled in my legs. Not the usual chill that comes and goes with the passing breeze from the window, but one strong enough to sting, shackle, and leave a frigid sensation creeping up my skin. With every struggle I make, the pressure winds firmly around my legs, tighter and tighter and tighter, all until it becomes too much. My heart stops. Another draft sweeps into the room and brings with it the iron tang of blood, thick, suffocating, filling my nose with a foul, sickening smell as I shift my gaze downward and it slowly comes into view. Mouth stretched in a hideous smile and eyes brimming with nothing but madness. The stench of gore taints the air around me and I can't look away. From the terror and death that her uncanny, twisted features alone scream. I think there's about to be a QTE event. I try to open my mouth to shout, to ask for help, but my voice has left my body altogether. All I have is the painful realization that no kind of plea will ever save me from her. Then suddenly, the bed dips. Oh my god, okay, there was nothing I could do there. The brutal plunge back into myself jerks me awake. There is no ear-splitting scream, no wild thrashing of limbs, just a painful, constricting awareness that something has wound itself tightly around my neck. I waste no second pulling it, a blanket, away, but allow myself a few minutes to steady my breathing before getting off the bed. Inhale, hold, exhale. Everybody do that together. Okay. Shit. I've been waiting for that. I remembered that. Holy shit, though. I'm curious. Okay, wow, we're like over halfway through now. But there's still so much left. Oh my god. Yeah, this game. Okay. 1 step, 2 steps, 3. But the dreams have gotten worse. Ever since 2 days ago, no longer are they the small, cursory flashes that I'm used to, but vivid ones that linger. I can still feel the blood in my hands, the putrid smell of rotting flesh, the sickening crunch of bones breaking with every movement, and her cold, chilling eyes as they bore into me. I was gonna say something. Yeah, Zach's story is long. Every time that ghost girl has come about, or she like puts her hands on somebody, it's always their neck. And I don't know anything about that ghost girl. I don't know her name. I don't know who she is in relation to the house. I don't know how she died. I don't really even know I don't know much about her at all. So it all is just very, like, I don't know. It's like trying to piece together who she is. I have no idea. I have no idea. Maybe stuff along the way will jog my memory a little bit, but, like, I remember specifically in the playthrough I watched, we didn't find out anything about that ghost girl. Or very minimum. Very. I draw in one long, ragged breath, and before I know it, I'm walking out the door. Even in the waking world, it reeks. A bench on the park is far from the most private place for thoughts in Luxburn, considering its location at the heart of the bustling city. But in the early hours of the morning, it provides enough peace and quiet for any poor problematic soul who happens to wander here. The city is just waking up, a little later than usual. But knowing what day it is, one can't fault it for being a little tardy just this once. Yet neither the pleasant morning chill nor the soft twittering of birds does anything to banish the images. Every single one has rooted itself in my head, its claws digging deep in what is no longer a safe place to hide.
London Bridge is falling down, falling down.
It used to be
falling
easy,
down.
finding
London
some
Bridge is
pretense of
falling
peace under
down,
the guise of sheer
my
optimism,
fair lady.
following regular routine.
Take a key and lock
Now,
him up, lock him
now
up,
I don't know
lock
what to
him
make
up.
of it.
Take a key and
Sometimes
lock
it's
him
easier
up,
to run,
my
easier to
fair
hide when
lady.
everything's falling apart. That way,
London
you don't
Bridge
have
is
to be the first to
falling
witness
down,
it when it
falling
does.
down, falling
It
down.
worked when things
London
went
Bridge
bad
is
with the
falling
movie, after
down,
all.
my fair
It
lady.
also worked with Ma
Take a
when
key
Ma and
and
Pa were
lock
taken
him
from
up,
us.
Lock him up, lock him up.
Though the sentiment's a little hypocritical when you think about my
little.
little talk with Miss Wright the other day. But that's just how it is. Maybe it really is better if I just...
Hey, mister.
The tiny voice gives me a pause. When I look up, a little girl, maybe about 6 or 7, is peering at me. 2 wide eyes overflowing with what can only be the natural curiosity one typically sees in children. I vaguely note the St. Goretti uniform she's wearing before returning her greeting.
Hey, kid.
Kylie.
There she is.
Kylie?
That's my name.
She's so cute.
Mama said it's rude not to call people by their names.
She then flops down on the empty space beside me. Her little legs, still too short to touch the ground, swings in tune with a song she hums under her breath. I don't mind kids. Nana would often invite the ones in our old neighborhood to give them treats. But of course, by then, Sis and I were both too old to play with them, but you get used to the commotion eventually. It's not completely as unpleasant as most people would imply. Kylie seems to be a well-behaved kid anyway.
Oh, sorry. Nice to meet you, Kylie. Is Mama here?
No, but my big brother's with me. He's taking pictures with his camera over there.
Her brother's a photographer too? She points to the far end of the park, the one closest to the street where a kid is taking shots of something above him. It doesn't look to be birds because all there is on that side of the park are buildings.
I don't see what's so interesting with the tip of a building, though. I'd take pictures of dogs if I were him. They're cuter. Do you have a camera too, mister?
Yeah, I'm actually a photographer.
Mama said I'm too young to get a camera.
I'm sure your mama will eventually give you one. But won't you be late for school like this?
Big brother will get us there on time. Rowan promised Papa. We aren't going to be late. It's sports day.
It's sports
so
day.
It's not good if you keep looking like that today. If it ends up raining and we lose, it's your fault.
All right, I'll try not to upset the clouds today, kid.
Is it because you're sick, mister?
What? Before I know it, a smile has spread over my face. They say kids ask the toughest questions sometimes, and they sure do, with how sincere Kylie looks. Lying feels like doing her a huge disservice.
No, not sick.
I just remembered something. And we won't see it for a very long time, but it's very sad. I can't say, but it literally just came into my mind. When we get to it, I'll be like, this is the thing I thought of.
Just having a very, very bad day.
But it's very long from now.
Why is that? Is that like when my big brother ate all of my pudding? He did that once and then cried. It wasn't very nice of him.
Yeah, I think so. You see, there's this mean girl. She's given my friends and I a lot of trouble.
I mean, I can tell you, it won't give anything away. I feel like it isn't even like related to the story. It's just kind of something, and it's literally the last thing of the game. Like, it's the last thing you see. I can tell you, and you'll have something to keep in mind, but whose timeline is it on? We're still on Zach. Oh, it's like the last thing of the game. Like, depending on how, but the thing is, I don't know if we'll see it because it's depending on how things are played and what's revealed and what's not revealed, and okay, don't say anything. Okay, so, I mean, like I said, I don't even know if we'll see it. Because it all depends on what we end up with. And I don't remember a lot about the ending. I remember some. If it doesn't happen, then tell us. Okay, but we're going to be waiting for like another 15 hours. It's okay. Okay, we'll keep going. Otherwise, I'm going to feel obligated to say something.
Hard to keep up when things are like that, you know? Especially when you can't do anything. It's kind of scary. Makes you wish things will just stay as peaceful as they used to be.
Maybe she just wants to be friends with you?
Don't have anxiety. It's not consequential to the plot. It's just like a bonus clip at the end of the game. And you'll know if you see it. I'll be like, this is it. But it's literally the very last thing you see, and then the game is done.
I highly doubt that. She already hurt one of my friends.
What if she's just sad? Or maybe she just wants help.
I think she wants some help.
That's what happened with Melody. I let her borrow my crayon when she left hers. Now we're playmates.
It's not really the same thing, Kylie. What she did, they're pretty bad things.
I still think there's another reason. Did you try talking to her? That's what Mama said I should do.
I don't think that'll work either.
The little girl is being insightful. Talk to the phantom ghost girl.
You haven't even tried yet. You sound like Rowan. You're just scared, mister.
That strikes a chord. She's right. Maybe it's the honesty in her tone or simply the truth in her words itself. I don't know why, but I can't help it. I'd laugh. Loud enough to disturb an elderly couple taking a leisurely stroll nearby.
Why are you laughing?
That's nothing. You're a really smart kid, you know that?
That's what I've been doing, ain't it? Go full speed ahead, then backtrack when the going gets tough. Stay in my safe zone because that's what I know. Once Dr. Navarro said I should be the first one willing to deal with my problems before anyone else. I didn't show up on our next appointment after that, but he's right. And though I hate to admit it, knowing what I've seen, but the kid makes a good point too. I've been so caught up thinking there might not be a way out. Maybe there isn't, or maybe there is, but that doesn't mean I should just leave it up to fate.
You better get to school, though, or you'll miss sports day. You should have won yourself some awards, alright?
Alright. Can I show it to you when I do? That can cheer people up, right?
In the distance, her brother calls for her, and I took that as a sign to leave. Got things to do, to face. The first few steps, they say.
Nah, I'm good now, I think. Thanks to you. Besides, Mister needs to go. but you should show it to Mama and Papa. I'm sure they'll be proud of you, Kylie.
I will. Thanks, mister. Bye.
Oh. I give her a little pat on the head before heading my way. A small gesture of thanks from a stranger she didn't know she might have helped. She may not understand it now, even though at such a young age she already has this understanding of things, but maybe when she's older, when the world no longer seems too big for her.
But aren't you going to help me, mister?
Oh my god, what?
With what?
Confused, I glance back. Zach, you cannot catch a break. This is literally like, the priest. The priest saw Zach be in this form. So the little girl herself is not creepy. It's the demon manifesting itself in everybody around Zach. Zach is already like feeling the effects just like the priest did. He's been at the house more than the priest. The priest was only there the once. So the little girl is not possessed. It's just Zach seeing this ghost everywhere. Whatever cheer our little talk brought has vanished under the shadow suddenly dancing in my eyes. This frigid air is most definitely not how the morning chill should feel, like bitter, stinging, unwelcoming. And the kid.
What do you think, mister? Are you going to help me?
Leave us alone! What did we do to you?
The response never comes, however, because when I blinked, gone.
Hello? Mister? Are you okay?
For several passing seconds, I let a stare linger on her face, waiting for any sign of another change. But all that remains in there is the careless smile of a child. None of the spite, none of the cold, bloody smile.
Nothing. I really need to go, Kylie. It was nice meeting you.
See you again, mister!
I break into a run. I don't look back, not even as I bump into a couple of passers-by as soon as I'm out on the busy streets. Going insane, this is what it is. And if we don't do something soon, we all will be. The tremors follow me even as I get home. I had hoped a little stroll around the block for a few hours would help. Instead, I am assaulted with more images of her smile, the loathing in her eyes, the stench of gore, the horrid crunch that comes with every movement she makes. Even old memories have been sullied by her, and Ma's song no longer sounds as sweet as it meant to be. In the end, all I got is a sinking feeling I will never be rid of her image, and another ridiculous idea that may or may not even work. The sun is already hanging low on the horizon when I make it back, and for the first time, coming home feels more like a chore. Only I didn't arrive to an empty room. Oh, Ash is here? Because as soon as I open the door, I'm greeted by none other than...
Sup, Z-Man?
Yeah.
I told you we should have called him before going here.
Oh, Isabella's here too.
It's fine.
It is Ashton I see first, sitting comfortably on my couch, munching a bag of chips with both feet propped atop the coffee table. Whatever proverbial... Oh! This is the day of the party! So here's Isabella. Here she is. What happens? Whatever proverbial stone has made a home at the pit of my stomach automatically flies right out of the window at the sight of him. You know, thinking about it, she probably just doesn't want to go back to that mansion. She's fucking traumatized by that place. Like, she probably just doesn't want to go back. But before any exasperation can set in, my attention is taken by the other occupant in the room. Isabella perches on the only other chair in the room, attempting to make herself smaller. It seems, from how closely she's hugging her arms against her. Nevertheless, she gives me a small smile when she notices my stare. Yet somehow there ain't any warmth in it like it's supposed to have.
Hey, Zach. Sorry we just barged in here. Ash was...
Relax. Z-Man gave me a copy of the key himself.
Only after you broke the 13th one? I can't keep replacing them every time you think it'd be a good idea to break into my apartment. And stop calling me Z-Man!
I didn't break anything this time.
Ash, just because I gave you a key doesn't mean you can just stroll in here whenever you want to. And, hey, is that my...
Ash smirks at me, because of course, he has the gall to smirk knowing what he did. He pops in, what's very likely the last piece of chip into his mouth and folds the wrapper neatly on the table before throwing it on the nearby trash. From her chair, Isabella shoots me an apologetic smile as soon as the foil hits the waste bin with a dull thunk. Common sense dictates that I should be angry. Did he eat your leftovers, Zach? But after everything, having something normal play out in front of me, no matter how childish their antics can get, I can't bring myself to muster even a tidbit of it. Behind me, the television starts blaring the music for the end credits of a movie. They have likely been waiting for a while if Ash has gotten impatient enough to rummage through my cupboards and watch
Of
something.
course he eats all of it. You know, I was saving that for the weekend. Did you at least share some with Bella?
Don't worry about it. I'm good, Zach.
Really? It's free food, you know. What was that you usually say? You don't say no to free food? What happened?
No, I'm just not hungry.
Ash only shrugs at the question in my eyes. I can't be the only one who finds this vibe she's giving off to be odd, and the guy has no doubt already caught wind of it.
Aye. But if you want something, just say so. I've got a fully restocked pantry right here at your disposal. Still not a 5-star level thing, but for an empty stomach, it'd do. Just say the word.
Thanks, Zach. Maybe next time. Food is not really what we came here for. Ash, he's the one who...
She casts a brief glance at Ash, and in an instant he sits up. Every trace of amusement is gone from his face as he clasps his hands in front of him and leans forward. A minuscule gesture meant to ease, yet the grim expression on him tells a different story altogether.
All right, you two, what's this about? I don't like those looks.
A short but tense pause follows. They're both stalling. Under normal circumstances, I'd wait. With these two, the more you force it, the more they'll clamp down on it. But as a handful of seconds continue to slip by, the unsettling feeling in me also grows with it. Soon it turns into impatience. Before I can demand a response, though, one of them finally speaks up. It is Isabella who breaks it first. I'm going to take a quick second and get rid of this notification. New on the 29th. Oh, it is the 29th. Today's the morning after the party. Yeah. Today's the morning after the party. So we still don't know where Isabella was the day of the party. The party was last night. Oh my god, Zach went to the party after all that shit took place? Holy shit. Oh my god. I mean, yeah, so that nightmare he had was the night after he got home from the party. And then, oh my god. Yeah, so this is the day after the party. We still don't know where Isabella was. Oh my god. Okay. So Ash was there. Isabella wasn't. Still don't know where she was. Fuck.
We just thought we should check on you. After what happened to Rose,
Please don't tell me something happened again.
No, nothing. None so far. And we're keeping it that way as much as possible.
Are you guys still with me? I'd hate to think you're missing his stuff.
Ash, it's not that easy. This isn't some...
We don't know that. Let me...
The bitter frustration in his tone is impossible to miss, but he catches it as soon as Isabella draws back. He allows himself a moment to breathe before dropping it for one less harsh, more tempered. Okay. I just want to make sure you're here. I mean, if I don't get a response from you, you fell asleep. Okay, good. Gentler.
Let me look at this first, okay? I agreed to help, but you've got to let me handle things from now on.
I already told you everything.
There must be something we're not seeing in this just yet. We'll sort this out, but no more silly ideas and running around on your own.
Oh, no. Okay, so... Isabella was trying to play detective on her own. Well, that's probably what she was doing the night before.
You're making people worry more than necessary. Becca, especially.
So everything's fine.
Depends on who you're asking. How are things with you? Anything odd?
Good, I guess.
No, it's not good. Why would you lie about that?
Admittedly, how things went down at the housewarming party last night threw me off a bit.
I'm not asking about that.
Okay.
Remember the letter thing Isabella's been yapping on about?
Yes. Love that they use the term yapping. It's almost like it was from nowadays.
I'm asking about that kind of odd.
Wow, this is a lot coming from Ash. That he's even entertaining this at all. I look at him, gaped more, I hate that word, gaped more like. His serious expression doesn't waver despite the perplexed look I shoot him. There is a brief second I let pass as I wait for the heavens to fall somewhere. It doesn't come. The sky is still bathed in vibrant reddish hues as it waits for the night to arrive. Luxburn is still the same busy city, and everything in my room still appears as it did a second ago, including the unnerving ticking of my wall clock. But if Ashton, calm, cool, collected, always logical Ashton, takes interest in this, something or someone must have fucked shit up somewhere. Like it said that.
Well, the dreams, they're a lot worse than usual.
If they say skibbity toilet, I'm out of here. I'll put up with yapping. I'm a certified yapper. But if they say skibbity toilet or Riz, I'm shutting this game off.
There's a woman now, ever since we saw that letter. I don't know if it's the same one Isabella talked about. Maybe it is, maybe it ain't. I really don't want to go back to sleep sometimes. Last night was the worst. Anyway, why are you asking about this?
Rose's death isn't just a coincidence, Zach. It may have something to do with... I may have...
I'm just speculating here, but do you think Bella went to Rose's apartment? I don't remember. I really don't remember.
Wait. Stop right there for a sec, Bella. I thought you ain't buying this stuff, Ash. Just the other day, you said the exact same thing.
I still don't, but even Rebecca, out of all people, claims there's something.
So Becca saw something too. Becca's seen something.
Whatever this is, someone has got to look into it. Everything about this screams shady.
Are you sure you even have the time? Ain't you busy with your current case?
They're related somehow, don't you see?
I got taken off that one.
You didn't say you were taken off your case.
I just got the news this morning. Apparently the higher-ups think I'm doing a horrendous job at it. It doesn't matter though. If these two cases are connected like I initially thought, then regardless, I'm on the right track.
Are you sure we should even be doing this?
Doing what exactly?
There's someplace we'll visit after this.
Too vague for comfort, Ash. And please don't tell me you're bringing her with you.
His affirmation comes in the form of a stare, but that alone says all I need to know. What I pointed out gives him a pause, though, and his voice is thick with hesitation when he addresses Isabella.
You know what? Zach's right, Isabella. You don't have to come with me.
It's not myself I'm worried about. It's you. I'll just do this myself, if it'll get you into more trouble with your superiors. At least I can make up an excuse why I need to be there.
Don't be ridiculous. You're not walking in there without me. Besides, I think it's a little too late to back out now. Have you two seen the news this morning?
I haven't, actually. Mama called, and I was busy.
I'd like to know what the news was. The change in the air around her, while small, cannot have gone unnoticed, and it takes every willpower not to ask. Ask! Did something happen to her dad? Probably the only thing reigning in my curiosity is the fact that Ash himself hasn't brought it up either.
No problem. It should be in the afternoon news as well.
Who's that guy? Is that where you're supposed to know who that is? He grabs the remote and cycles through numerous channels until he gets to a news report about another guy who has been found in the early hours of the morning today. Burned alive this time. Oddly, no fire had spread, and whatever damage had been contained within the place the body was found. The room itself, however, had been completely vandalized. Help me, help me, help me. Another murder, the authorities claimed. Isabella and I knew better. None of us shifts even after the report ends, but the room is suddenly felt stifling. Do you say Deb on purpose? Ashton's eyes have gone hooded with what appears to be restrained anger, and the remote in his hand creaks mildly under his grip. The stone is back in my stomach. A tiny little thing gripping at my insides, growing with every passing second as the dread sinks in. In the thick of it, Isabella's voice is the one that breaks the hush. A small, weak thing on its own that wavers unevenly between words, but every syllable heavy with meaning.
This is because of that thing, isn't it? I did this somehow.
No, girl, this was not your fault. When it fades, all that's left in the air is her doubt and fear, while all we can do is to cope. Is there something I can say to make her feel better? Well, choice time. If you want, before we make the choice, we can look at the branching tree and maybe see what... I mean, I hate to play it so cheaty, but I'd like to get more lore than I have previously. And if making one choice or another branches to more happening, I think I'd prefer to see that. But again, this is your decision. So if you want to play it in the cheeky way, okay, we'll look at the branching tree. Okay. So it looks like we're already missing quite a lot of stuff. This was based off of what? I don't even know. It's not that far back. So either way, we're going to be missing a lot of stuff, so it really doesn't matter this time around what we pick. Everything's pretty linear from there on out. I think we'll try to push through and finish Zack tonight. I don't think there's a lot that even all this shit we're going to be missing, so that's a lot of content that we're not even going to see. So we'll already be here by the time that whatever this is ends, so... I feel like we can get through Zack's story tonight still. We can still... So we're saying we can still fix this? Okay.
It ain't too late. We could still fix this. There's 3 of us here. 4 if you count Rebecca.
No, she's staying away from this.
Oh boy, what happened to her? Yeah, last night was the party. Everybody got fucked up last night. In more ways than one. Okay. She lifts her gaze at me, eyes steady and shoulders spared as she holds it against the baffled look I give her. Although in the next second it immediately softens and it takes me by surprise nevertheless. In those brief moments, it's like I faced a different person.
I don't want to involve her in this any more than I already have. Both of you as well.
I already said it. That's completely out of the question. Stop asking.
Still in all, that's 2 extra heads who can do the thinking. Between us 3, I'm sure we'll figure something out pretty soon.
Don't make this whole thing sound like it's a piece of cake to deal with.
Cake.
It ain't. But better than sitting around, yeah? Plan is still a plan.
You're going to shoot yourself in the foot one day with that kind of thinking. We don't even know who's doing this. The last 2 murders might just be similar incidents done by 2 different suspects.
Hasn't stopped you from going after them before. Remember that time when you...
Okay, stop right there. There will be no retelling of that incident today, Z-Man.
Stop right there. I gotta know right now. Alright, nice. We went up. Yeah, don't stay quiet. Ease her mind.
Or ever.
Keep calling me Z-Man and maybe I will.
Suddenly, Isabella laughs. Though muffled by her hands, it rings light and easy against the thick tension in the room. Still a far cry from the usual cheer she carries, but brings a welcome shift in the otherwise dreary mood.
Thanks, you two.
I'll tell you about it when he's not around.
Give it up, Z-Man. She's not interested.
Who says I'm not?
Ash makes a face but chuckles at the jest despite himself.
Why am I even friends with you two?
And like this, most of our stories ebb away, most of our worries ebb away, if only for a few moments. They take their leave mere minutes close to sundown, but regardless of the lighter mood, little has been said of their plans, only vague hints of what they're aiming to do after. While it ain't any of my business to know, something about this whole thing still gnaws at me. A tiny passing thought urges me to do something as well. At this hour, the streets are once again busy with people heading home after a hard day's work. Little of the bustle matters to them as they step outside the crowded walkway, however. Ash especially. There's only his goal in his mind, and I'd wager there's nothing I can do to stop him at this point. He's probably decided on it long before they made the decision to drop by, but despite this, Isabella lags behind. A worried crease is back on her forehead as she watches Ash leave to get his car.
Something wrong, Bella?
No, actually, can you check on Becca for me after this? I really didn't get the chance to tell her where I'm headed off to. Tell her I'm okay and no, just that. That's all.
You sure I should skip on that part? If she finds out about this, she'll be angry. I don't really want to deal with angry Rebecca. It gives me a stomachache just thinking about it.
Neither do I, but I'll handle it if she gets mad. Just make sure she's safe and tell her to be careful.
Nope, wrong way. Sorry, I'm just adjusting my camera. And that'll be better. Okay.
You too. Take care of yourself.
Almost abruptly, she pauses, the gaze in her eyes hardening as she lapses into another one of those long, distant silences from earlier. This ain't just because of the whole fiasco with the letter anymore.
I don't want what happened to Rose to happen to you guys as well.
This one cut deeper. Before I can ask about it, Ashton returns, casually swinging his car keys on one hand and gestures at
Come
Isabella.
on, we don't have much time. Shirley's waiting.
Who's sure? Oh, right. Don't answer that. I don't want to hear it, you huge dork.
She's blushing. She thinks it's cute.
Says the person who gave her stuffed toys names. Batcat?
Batcat!
Really?
It's cute. Yours is just weird. I'll see you later, Zach.
He spares me another smile, and as I watch her walk off, only now did it occur to me that none of those she gave today ever did reach her eyes. I make a grab for the back of Ash's parka. He staggers briefly before correcting himself and shooting me a confused stare.
Is she all right?
What? Who's okay?
Isabella. She's been, I don't know, out of it today? Did something happen earlier?
Scowl on his face says it all.
She's actually been like that this morning. I'll ask, but...
Just do me a favor and watch over her. We have no idea what we're dealing with. I don't know what happened to her since the last time I saw her, but from how she's been doing today, whatever it is, seems like a pretty big deal. Wait, you didn't annoy her again, did you? Because I swear to God, if you did, you've got another thing coming for you.
What? No. Why would I?
I'm just asking. I'll take your word for it. But if you can find out what's bothering her, that'd be nice. Honestly, I don't think it's the letter this time.
I'll see what I can do.
Make sure you keep yourself out of harm's way, all right?
Yeah, you too. Don't do anything reckless again.
Reckless, no. But I can't make you to promise I won't do anything. After seeing that, there's no way in hell I'm going to pretend there ain't a problem when there is. This is a really big one, and I'll be damned if I let anything happen to you guys while I sit here. I'm done running when things get tough.
He's about to argue for a moment, but...
Look, bro, if things ain't good, I'll be the first one out. But allow me this one thing, aight? Just this one time. If it doesn't work out, you'll be the first one to know. You can laugh then, or berate me all you want. But please don't ask me to step aside like I'm incapable of doing anything to help.
I have no idea if it is the look on my face or the tone of my voice. Ultimately, although his mouth presses into a thin line, he nods.
All right. Stay safe, Zach.
When he stumbles into the sidewalk and allows the afternoon crowd to swallow him whole, I like to think the tiny gleam in his eyes is the closest we can get to optimism in this situation. Whether that alone will be enough to give me a peaceful sleep tonight remains to be said. Oh boy. This is the furthest we've gone with anybody. Yeah. Night falls, and despite my best attempts, sleep continues to elude me. With her image still stuck in my head, flashing every few moments, it catches me off guard, with Ma's lullaby still echoing in my ears, no longer the soft tune it once was, and the terrible gnawing at the pit of my stomach. It's no wonder I can't bring myself to drift off even for a little while. It is not as if there's a complete lack of things I do while waiting for sleep to come, if it ever will. And at 2:45 in the morning, I find myself cleaning my photography equipment for no other reason than just to pass time. Uh-oh. There's that ticking of his clock. Though I am going to be honest, it is not the night terrors that are keeping me wide awake tonight, but the anxiety and the hope I'll hear from Ash or Isabella soon. There's too much negative space over here. Something is about to happen. And for what's perhaps the 42nd time, my eyes shift over to the end of the table where my phone still lies. Yeah. I've not heard from them since they left. They haven't promised a call, of course, but a small part of me wishes they would have the common sense at the very least. Waiting is a tough game, and with the concerns stretching out the minutes far longer than usual, it's impossible for more unpleasant thoughts not to enter my mind. Moreover, it does not help that when the clock finally strikes 3, oh no, it's 3 a.m. Yes. My hand stills. It'll be a complete and utter lie to say my heart didn't leap straight to my throat in that brief second. My whole body has gone motionless, ears straining for any further sounds. A couple of tense seconds pass. Nothing. Of course, with how old the building I'm staying in, power fluctuations ain't nothing new, or anything new. Every now and then this would happen, leaving a few tenants in a rather bad mood. Nothing unusual anymore after a few years of living here. This time, the sudden hush brings with it a stillness that raised the hair at the back of my neck and set my heart beating hard against my chest. Something reeks in the air, and in an instant, this place is no longer home. It's a prison. Every rational fiber of my being screams at me to leave. I force myself to swallow and keep a clear head as I lay down all my cleaning tools and begin gathering together the rest of my things scattered about on the table. The camera's body, lenses, filters, diffuser, phone, anything my hand could reach, but in the resulting panic, like in the nightmares, it is the scent that reaches me first, a foul, putrid smell filling my lungs with the heavy stink of death. My fingers clamp tightly to the camera, holding it closer to my body. Oh, is this gonna be like a QTE of me taking pictures of her? It's like fucking, ooh, what's that game? Shit. There's a game where you literally like have to use a camera as a weapon. I know the game, I've seen the game. Why can't I think of what it's called? Whatever. My fingers clamp tightly to the camera, holding it closer to my body as if the tiny thing would provide enough protection to whatever is with me in the room. It won't, but it's the only comfort I have. Fatal Frame. That's the name of that game.
I know you're in here. What do you want?
Something moves behind me, a soft scuttling over the walls, followed by the squelch and painful creaking of what can only be rotten flesh and broken bones. Without hesitation, I whirl around, my fingers and camera ready. I called it. I knew I was going to have to do this, patiently waiting for another movement.
Leave now!
Oh, God.
There's nothing here for you!
What? There's a brief moment of silence after, and for a short while I think my pleas worked. That means they didn't work. Then, with no warning, the shuffling resumes, and along with it are the sobs of a woman. Use the mouse to look around and spacebar to take a picture. Where are you, bitch? Where are you? I'm looking around. Oh my god, I have battery life I have to be wondering about? I'm using the mouse to look around. Where? Where is she? I'm looking. I'm not seeing anything. I can only look like left and right. Can I just take a picture? Nothing. Oh, I have to use the light. I see. Oh my god, I'm at 28%. Nothing. Where is she? Where is she? 0%. Oh my god! It didn't show. She wasn't anywhere. And it wouldn't let me look up or down. It only would let me look right and left. What the fuck? Okay, it lets me do it again. Oh my god. Holy shit. Okay, well, let's try again. Why doesn't it let me look up or down? Like, surely I should be able to look down, no? There she is. Okay. Oh, fuck. Okay, good. The light flashes fleetingly at one last time, allowing me a glimpse of her grotesque, misshapen features before it is once again lost in the darkness. All of a sudden, her tune changes, no longer a soft cry, but a high-pitched shriek, brimming with pain, grief, and anger. Every ounce of courage I've mustered flees from my body at the sound, and the next thing I know, my hand is gripping the knob and I'm wrenching the door open. Her wails follow me as I flee into the night. Oh my god. Pacing has always been more of Ashton's thing than mine. When I want to think, I sit and let the minutes tick by until an idea comes to mind, or my pulse settles down, and yet dried leaves and twigs crack under my shoes as I make another pass at them. Terror is too mild to describe what this is. There's no way in hell I'm going back. Whatever she is, pleading won't work. The moment we saw that letter, she's been after us.
I can't run. Not this time.
Nearly 2 hours have gone by since I left the comfort of my room for the solitude of the park. 2 excruciating hours since I've started making calls. No one's answering. Not even Rebecca, who has always kept her phone line open in case other people need her. Or Isabella, who frequently checks her for any messages and readily responds as soon as she can afford. It does not help that Ash hasn't said a word where he went off to as well.
Damn it! I knew I should have asked him before I let him leave.
Knowing him, he can be anywhere, but there's really only one place he'll likely be at this time. Why is it daytime? Oh, because it was like, it's morning time. It's very early morning time. The sun has already peeked over the horizon when I make it to the mansion. I have no idea what I'm expecting to see when I got here. There's Ashton, first and foremost. A part of me wishes my assumptions are correct, and he's really somewhere close by on a stakeout. but I've never been the lucky sort when it comes to that kind of guessing. And even after I've made a round of the immediate vicinity, I could find neither hide nor hair of him. Calling him does no good either, considering how awful the signal here is. He can't be too far if he's really here, but if he is, he would have already noticed me by now. Instead, there is only silence, the kind too quiet to find any sort of comfort in. Even the trees seem to have fallen asleep with the rest of the mansion, oblivious to what's happening around it, a small island of stillness in the otherwise fast-paced world. No wonder the whole of Anselm feels as at odds with the rest of Luxburn. While the city is alive, growing every minute, breathing every second, and pulsating with life, the village remains unmoving, unchanged. It's not surprising the legend still lives up to this day, and why she's still here, walking its hallowed halls. Behind me, the mansion looms ominously, but now ain't the time for fear. Even if Ash is not here, I've still got to let the Wrights know what I've seen, what's in their home. No, you don't. No, you do not. They will find out, and Hannah's already possessed at this point. It's the 30th. And whatever grievance Ash has with them doesn't matter. There might be grounds for imprisonment, but they don't deserve a brutal death at the hands of one malicious spearmint, I almost said. And I'm sure Isabella would want the same thing. I head straight for the door. Sorry, Pidge. I head straight for the door without a second thought. It takes a few rings, the loud sound above the foreboding stillness, before I hear footsteps on the other side. Who do we think it is?
God and Bennett, only a Nazi would knock at such an ungodly hour.
Oh my god, literally.
Where's that damn butler when I need him?
Oh my god. Look at this aura around him. What the fuck? Oh my god. Oh. And he's like... Do all the characters do that? I don't think they do. He's like breathing. Do you see that? Like, do all the characters do that? No, they just stay still. He's like not pulsating, but like you can like see him breathe or levitate. This is fucking crazy. Before long, the door swings widely open, with Mr. Luke Wright standing behind it. Seething would be a complete understatement to describe him. Like this, I've got no doubt why Ash would find him a suspect.
You again? It's bloody 6 in the morning. What the hell is it now?
Listen, sir, I know this is not a good time.
Oh, it's not a good time. Did you even check the clock before coming here? I bet you didn't. Unlike you, the ones living in this house need to sleep. Come back when people are actually awake, or I'll call security on you.
Before I can get a word in, he slams the door to my face and bolts it shut with much finality.
Wait, sir, you gotta hear me out. You're both in danger if you stay in there. Have you seen the news lately? Everything's not a coincidence.
Oh my god, Zach, this is not a good idea. This is like mutterings of a crazy man. Like, they don't believe you. They don't believe in this shit. Like, you're gonna get yourself in trouble. Only silence answers me. No matter if you think you're doing a good Did you describe what Luke was doing as gyrating? That's funny. Oh, man. Ooh. Okay. Maybe if it was Miss Wright. Oh, who am I kidding? I've already seen the look on her face when I tried before. There are limits to how far a person will believe in you. Then again, I didn't believe Isabella when she warned us. And now I'm here, desperately trying to save people, even if I'm aware it's completely out of my own capacity to do so. Is this what they call karma? If so, this is one horrible way of turning things around. Taking people's lives, playing with people's fears, making them feel useless.
You're around, ain't you? You here? Inside this house? Listening, watching, or whatever it is that you spirits do? What do you want?
Oh my god, he's so mad. I don't think I've ever seen him this mad.
You're already dead! Leave us!
Nothing. I don't even know who I'm talking to or if a sane person is supposed to be doing that. Definitely they're not. The only thing I got after is a feeling of foolishness washing over me. Or perhaps this is just me losing my mind. Out of other options and any other ideas, I let my hands slide off the door's surface and fall listlessly to my side. I can go back to Luxburn, try to find the others, try to get out of this mess with them, or let them know how much in deep shit we all are. Both sound good. Either way, my loitering here ain't helping at all. I let the quietness calm me for a few more minutes before standing up and heading out to fetch my bike. It's quite a distance to Luxburn, but if I hurry, I'll reach it in maybe... Oh. The rustling stops me as I turn around and strain my eyes for every other movement around me.
Yo, Ash, you there?
No answer. If he is here, and I've just missed him earlier... Already my feet are moving in search of him for the second time. It won't hurt to double check, triple check even. With how big the property is, he can be anywhere. If things ain't so urgent, if they ain't so dire that lives are at stake, I'd probably have just waited for him to show up again.
But damn it! He needs to realize what exactly it is he's dealing with.
That it is not just a petty criminal he can simply throw in jail, that it is something beyond the authority his police badge could ever give him. The guy needs to stop playing the big damn hero, sit down and chill. My breathing comes in short, shallow rasps by the time I make it back to where I started. Still no sign of him, and I'm beginning to think I'm just wasting my time here. But that is when I hear it. I recognize the melody in a heartbeat. Ma's favorite song. I listen for a while, trying to gauge where exactly from the house it's coming from. My feet starts moving before I can stop them. And there, as I circle a corner, from a room on the first floor, a single window is open and I can't make out who's ever inside. However, I'm sure the singing comes from there. Still, why I'll hear an old tune here of all places, I won't know. It's not an obscure song by all means, but it is pretty rare to find someone who knows this. And for some reason, death seems to follow this song around. Panic lodges itself at the base of my throat at once. Whoever's humming might be... I don't want to be the pessimist now, but on the off chance that it is Miss Wright...
Shit.
I shouldn't just barge in there. I can put myself in danger before I can save anyone. Ash will tell me so in the exact same words. Might even write me a dissertation with why it is a bad idea if he ain't so lazy. But damn it, damn it, damn it, god damn it! Someone could be in danger. What do we want to do? It's not Hannah. You can, like, hear that it's, like, otherworldly wailing. You can hear that, like, weird tone behind it. It doesn't sound like it's right there. It sounds like it's, like, coming from another plane. Oh, I don't know. I kind of know what I want to do, but if y'all want to play it safe, because it's Zach. Well, we can look at the branching tree and see what we got. I think we're almost at the end here. Yeah, we are. Look how close we are to the end. Look at what this choice can branch into. We're almost... This is it. This is his last bit of his story. What to do. Yeah, we're going in the window. I was hoping you guys would say that. I can search for Ash, but what if it's too late by then? With how big this place is, he can be anywhere, and it's very likely by the time we come back, someone's already bit the dust. I distinctly remember in the playthrough that I watched, they did not go in the window. I remembered that they were like, no, we're gonna search for Ash. Okay. That and the cries grow louder against my ear the longer I linger. Almost impossible to ignore, drawing me in like a moth to a flame. For a moment, I let myself shudder, shaking the uneasy feeling off my head. This can't be a good idea, not by a long shot. Still, I've got to try. Funnily enough, for a couple as high profile as the Wrights, they don't seem to have any security detail patrolling around. A few guards here and there, sure, but one will expect they'll have more considering the size of the place. It works to my advantage, though, and I really can't complain when there's a high chance I might get arrested for what I'm about to do. Yeah, that's the sacrifice you have to wait and be willing to make. Luckily, the window's wide enough for me to fit through without making any noise. There's certainly no going back now. But as soon as I step into the parlor, all of it ceases, while I find no trace of the woman I heard crying like I'm expecting to. The room is still empty at this time of the morning, and I'm left standing awkwardly in the middle of the hush. Maybe she's just hid somewhere?
Hello? Are you here? I heard someone earlier, and I'm here to help.
Hoping for an answer, I let the question hang in the air, but several seconds merely go by without a word or the slightest movement to indicate there is someone in here. Has been here. With the stories I've heard, the things I've seen, it takes effort to keep my brain from going into that line of thought.
I'm not going to hurt you. If you're here, say something.
Nothing. Am I just hearing things? No, I'm pretty sure I heard someone. But with no one responding, I can't help but feel silly like this. And the awareness that I've just trespassed a house for nothing because of some voice prickles at me. Suddenly, the silence feels uncomfortable, and a needling anxiety slowly creeps up my back. I should get out while I can. If it ain't there, it ain't there. I don't spare the room another glance when I walk back the way I came. Out into the window, leave before someone else notices.
I thought I heard a servant moving around here. Turns out it's just a rat scurrying about.
Did you hear that music? That's some serious music.
How unpleasant.
My heart shoots up into my throat. I can run. The window is a few steps away. I should be able to escape, but instead, out of some foolish impulse, I turn around. Perhaps it's because the only impression the guy has left me in what few times we met is nothing but unsettling.
This ain't what you think it is.
You're quite the distance from the kitchen, I'm afraid. Perhaps I should lead you there.
Someone's in here before me. I wasn't here for what you're thinking. There was sobbing and...
The first blow knocks the wind out of me, sending me heavy and crumpling to my knees. Tears well up in my eyes as the pain swells when he twists my wrists behind my back.
You've got to listen to me.
Then again, dirty thieves aren't welcome in my kitchen either.
For a moment, there's only silence and a sudden piercing ache, this time at the back of my head. The room abruptly tilts on its axis, dimming. On the verge of unconsciousness, I can only hear the scuffling of foot, the thud of the door behind me closing, and a woman, crying, asking for help. I know no more. I fully expected that to be the end of Zach. Like, about his story. Yeah, he fucking straight up hit him. Things are coming back in my memory. I'm remembering things. Fuck. The pain is the worst when I come to. A sharp piercing ache somewhere at the back of my head, begging to be noticed. But it's nothing I can't handle. Blearily, I open my eyes, expecting to be greeted by sunlight. Oh, we're at the police department. Oh, no. However, the walls... Curiosity killed the cat. Be at the wrong place at the wrong time. That's the achievement I just got. However, the walls that welcome me are unfamiliar. When everything comes into focus, I recognize the place for what it is. A cell. Dark, cramped, with the only light coming from the moon outside, streaming through the sole window barred by thick metal bars. Memory rushes back to me in sharp bursts. The mansion looking for Ashton, a familiar tune, a woman crying, all while my head still aches from the hit I've received.
Still better than a morgue, I guess.
Gingerly, I pull myself up, stretching the cramps from my shoulders as I do so, but stopping when a sudden movement induces an acute stinging pain right through my arm.
Damn, they got me good. What time is it?
As expected, they've taken everything I have on my person: wallet, cell phone, my keys, meds, even a small pack of gum. Protocol is protocol. In the first place, ending back in another cell ain't in my agenda. And the first time was not a pleasant experience, and this certainly won't be either. Remember, he was like accused of a crime he didn't commit, and that's how he met Ash. Considering who has likely put me in here, it could be much worse. The bars are cold to my touch when I approach it, looking for the person on duty. They'd usually allow us to contact someone, and Ashton at least has to know I'm here. He'll be pissed, but I'm quite sure of, but he's the only one who can help prove my innocence and get me out. Well, I don't think Hans was... Literally, we were breaking and entering. Like, Hans has every right to do this. I mean, not hit us, but, I mean, it's a defense. We were in the wrong. But it's not like I didn't want to do that. I wanted to see what would happen, so... But no, Hans wasn't in the wrong to do that. He was doing exactly what he would do if there was a burglar in the house. However much I don't want to rely on him for this. The hallway in front of the cell is empty, but voices float through from further in, likely the poor officers assigned to late-night duty. Judging from the snippets of conversation I catch, today's topic over a snack is that moron who thought it was wise to cross the rights. They used other names too, most of which I'll like to have words with them about in the future. Oh boy. But really, I'm in no position right now.
Excuse me. Anyone?
Silence.
Excuse me! I need to make a...
Blood freezes in my veins and my grip on the bar tightens. I don't dare turn, because more than the haunting melody, I'm afraid of what I'll see, of who's singing Ma's lovely lullaby, a death song. That's what it is now, but I guess that is what it has always been. If this is the end's calling, I prefer that it is not her vicious smile that I see last.
Oh, Zack, sweetie, don't you love this song?
Oh, bitch. Look at the, like, bags under her eyes. Her head snaps up in surprise. Look, she's, like, floating, too. Oh, my God. My head snaps up in surprise, and I swivel to see Miss Wright. Miss Wright, of all people, sitting on the cot. Her smile is easy and sweet as ever. She's the fucking ghost. She's possessed as she right now.
Miss Wright, what are you...
Oh. I jostled the cell door to check. A prison break is the last thing on my mind, of course, but her presence here begs for a lot of puzzling questions to be answered. Locked tight. Was I just too groggy earlier that I didn't notice her?
Don't be surprised, darling. Money and power can get you anything.
Look how, like, sickly pale she is. Oh my God, this is not... She has a point. Out of all people, she knows more than anyone how to play the game in the world. Yet to hear it straight out of her, it's like talking to a different person. I don't bring this up, however. Perhaps she's just having a bad day or a tiff with her husband. After the incident the other day at the party, well, I don't like gossip, but it won't be surprising. Anyone can say the strangest things when in a bad mood. Still and all.
You ain't supposed to be here, Miss Wright.
Why ever not? Isn't it comfortable here?
Well, it is, kind of. But you're still not supposed to be on this side of the cell. Besides, it's too early. Or too late for a visit. This is beyond the scheduled hours.
Oh, I'm sure Chief Inspector Lee wouldn't mind a little chat between friends. Besides, his prison officers just snoring in the break room.
She brushes off a lock of hair from her shoulders, stands up and meanders around the length of the cell for whatever space it would allow. I'm so tense about this. I have no fucking idea what's about to happen. as if this is just a simple stroll in the park, making a show of checking every scratch the past occupants of the room has left on its walls. Nevertheless, I try to make myself small against the corner. Any closer and we'll be crossing each other's personal spaces. Frankly, that's more than I'm comfortable with.
Be that as it may, they have cameras here too. How are you going to explain that when they check?
That doesn't matter, dear.
Oh my god, I'm so nervous.
It does. Your popularity ain't gonna give you any kind of immunity from the law. I appreciate the visit, but I'd rather not see you get into trouble.
It makes her stop. Is it just me, and maybe it's just shading, but like her neck is like very dark red. Is it not? It might just be the shading, but like look, the shadows under her arm, like her dress sleeve, aren't that red on her skin. Her neck is like very red. But just as I am starting to think, I finally reasoned with her.
You don't want to get out of here.
Of course I do. But you don't have to do anything. It's my fault. I'll find a way out of this mess.
The ghost is gonna break him out. Well, then he's gonna be a fugitive.
You did bring it to yourself.
This really is just a misunderstanding, Hana. I didn't mean to trespass. If you'll just listen to the whole story, you'll know I didn't mean to do it.
I'm really disappointed in you.
I looked straight at her at the sudden change of her tone, checking for any signs if I've upset her with what I did. Of course she would be. She has every right to. After all that talk, the little attempts to build a friendship, here I went and broke into another person's house. Her home. On so many levels beyond any kind of friendship, it's still wrong. Her anger doesn't come as I'm expecting it to, however. Instead, she smiles. A horrid little smile I didn't think I'd ever see from her.
Breaking into our home, disturbing my love in his sleep. You've upset my Prince Zack. You've really upset him.
Oh my god, am I gonna have to do a thing?
Hana?
Panic swells in me, ripping up my spine. Irrational, I know. You shouldn't feel this way about anyone you know. But here I am, backing away, trying to keep an ample distance between the two of us. I'm afraid, wholly afraid of her. This ain't Hana. Bars rattle as soon as my shoulders hit it. A hindrance, not to freedom but to safety.
Has anyone ever told you how beautiful those eyes of yours are?
Oh.
My Nana? Occasionally my sister.
Why are you being so like straightforward and like
Hana? You alright?
Oh. She laughs, a deranged little thing coming from her. This is back up. There's nowhere to go. You're in a tiny little holding cell, which again is like why is he like directly answering her questions of like, oh, have you ever heard that your eyes are beautiful? There was a knock, but I think it's just part of this part. Have you ever heard your eyes are beautiful? And he's like, well, my aunt and my sister sometimes, LOL. It's like, why are you being so direct? Oh no, her back up. Oh, okay. Yeah, no shit, she's possessed. And she just got in here. How? How can she materialize like that? She's still a person. She's just possessed. I don't know. We gotta keep going. There's no cheer in it. No warmth. Only spite.
Makes me want to take them home. Wrap them in those pretty ribbons I have in my vanity. I'm pretty sure my prince would love it, don't you think, Zachary? A little gift from me.
Stay away from me!
She moves in short, sudden, bone-crunching twitches that are too painful for me to watch. I want to look away, but I can't. I'm screaming for help before I know it, jolting the bars with as much force as I could.
Somebody! Get me out of here! Anyone, please!
Bugger off! Some people are trying to get some sleep here!
No! She's here! You've got to let me out! She's gonna kill me! Someone! She's...
Oh, you poor thing. Don't you worry. You won't even feel the pain.
We've unlocked a memory fragment. Is that a nipple? I think that's a nipple. Are we gonna see nipple in this game? What the fuck? I've never seen this. This is lore. This is lore, y'all. This is lore. That's the bitch that's on the wall and all the portraits in the background. That's the blonde woman who originally owned this house. Her and her husband. So, you know what I think? This is the black-haired girl. I have a theory, a running theory, that the black-haired girl was like a servant of theirs or something. And I don't know any details, but like something got really fucked up happened to her. Because she's asking for help. Yeah, definitely rapey vibes. This is definitely a man's forearm over her, like pinning her down. I can't get over the fact that there's like partial nip in this game. This is unbelievable. That's it? What the fuck? Look at this picture on Marianne's wall. She's just on like a big anime, like a full-size anime portrait on her wall. When Zachary finally regained consciousness after being knocked out, he found himself locked up in a precinct. Hannah Wright gave him a little visit. Oh my god. Oh, let's look at Marianne's profile. Marianne is a Cancer. Okay. She's 30. Same girl. She's also Roman Catholic. Bachelor's of Arts in Architecture, likes chocolate, cats, classical arts, country music, karaoke, board games, video games, anime, and other obscure pop culture items, yoga. Left in a dumpster as a baby, she was found by a peddler and spent most of her childhood roaming the countryside in a beat-up van. Her father taught her how to read, write, and pray, though in unconventional life, it was all she knew. Child welfare and protection eventually caught on and required that she have a proper education. She was provided a school at St. Smithon School for Young Ladies and was bullied for being a charity kid. Marianne only had one friend and was mostly focused on her studies, intent on graduating and returning to her father. A shame that he was diagnosed with Alzheimer's soon after. Her work as an architect in Ireland lasted until the Irish economic crisis. She moved to England and after some time, Luxburn in search of better career opportunities. I did call her being a Cancer, didn't I? Y'all, this woman has lived a fucked up life. Why does everybody have such trauma? Except for Hannah. Fuck Hannah. Isabella's is light on the trauma, honestly. Zach's parents were killed nearly in front of him, and Marianne was left in a dumpster as a baby. If I called that Marianne is a Cancer, I'm calling her right now. Rebecca is a Libra and Luke is a Leo. I'm almost positive Luke is a Leo. I seem to remember that. Ashton is a Scorpio. Calling that. What the fuck, you guys? Where are you guys right now? You guys have nothing to say about the Marianne being left in a dumpster as a baby? Nothing to say about that. Or that memory fragment. I guess you guys did say shit about that. Oh, Sorry. I'm sorry you're not feeling good again. I mean, we're probably gonna wrap this up now that we are starting on Marianne. It's not like I can tell how you're feeling through the phone or anything. I am... Okay, we're gonna save. We're gonna quit to the main menu because I want to see... We're gonna go back to Zach's... Let's take a look at Marianne's branching tree. She has a pretty big bar, so I'm assuming it's not a super complex... Okay, there's a lot of branching. Okay. Not a big storyline. Not a very big one at all. But I remember a lot of shit happens in hers. Like, high bar shit. That fragment had me tripped up too. In the game that I saw that person play, I don't think they one time got a memory fragment. Which means we're playing this game right. We need to be ballsy. We need to make choices that might get people in trouble. I feel really bad for Zach that he had to go to jail, but like, we need to be persistent in hunting for lore. I need to know lore. That memory fragment tripped me the fuck up. I want to go back. Gallery. I can't believe that. Extras. Oops. I don't want this. This has been so... Do you think we missed some fragments? Maybe. Possibly you get one with everybody you play. It would seem weird if that was the first one. Yeah, I'm gonna guess everybody could have had one, but we just didn't make the right choices to get it. Y'all, this has been fucking crazy. Every single time I think like this is crazy, like it just gets crazier. And I'm so happy we saw shit that I've never seen before. This is exactly why I wanted to play this game with you guys. Oh my god. Okay. Okay, well, I'm gonna be done. Thank you all for joining me. I can't believe that either. That was just a slap to the face, that finding out that information. It was. And she's currently pregnant while she's doing all that shit. So, like, the ghost, it wasn't Hannah. The ghost was, or was it? If the ghost was just, like, materialized in that room and just took the form of Hannah... I don't know. Me neither. That's the most bonkers thing to me is there's no way, it definitely wasn't Hannah, her physical form at least, there'd be no way that she could do that. So it's the ghost like taking her form. It's fucked up. I'm truly at a shock right now. This has been a wild playthrough. So far. That memory fragment, that got me. That was like the girl sitting on it, like watching that girl get... Oh my god. No wonder that I'm positive that's that dark-haired demon ghost. And she's somehow of like Japanese descent because that necklace I think belongs to her, the one that Hannah's wearing, and those are like Japanese characters. Okay. Well, okay. We'll play this another couple days. Fuck. This has been a day. Oh, she's definitely there for revenge. She's taking it out, and especially because Luke and Hannah look so much like that couple. I can't wait to find out her name. I'm really excited. Okay, I'm wrapping it up. Yep, Meg's turn tomorrow. What are you playing tomorrow, Maggie? I said or last week you said you were going to try to play something else instead of your dinosaur game. What was that game? I can't remember. I was going to ask you yesterday, but I figured I'd just wait until today or wait until tomorrow. Sunhaven, that's right. Yes, I know you did, Savannah. I know you said that they looked like the couple in the photo, and I know a little bit, but I really don't know that much. But it does have a lot to do with the fact that they are so similar to the couple. But really, I've forgotten a lot, and think of pretty names. Ooh, okay. You want pretty names for it? Okay. I'll think of pretty ones. Okay, I'll get going because I want to eat something before I go to bed because I'm sure they're already in bed or almost. But, okay, well, good night. Thank you for joining me. This has been fucking crazy. Okay, love y'all. And I'll see you tomorrow. Bye-bye.